join discord.gg/flatearth and enter a check-in room. Someone will come along and verify you to get involved in the conversation about our Earth.
Again, these original measurements that are taken are measuring angles with a vertical line, taking an angle to a horizontal, a 90, something that you cannot have standing on the surface of this globe. So who cares what they refer it back to? What's the original measurement? Flat.
I'd just like to point out a bit of fallacious reasoning as well to add to your point here, AJ. If I could direct your guys' attention to live stream voice text number 1. There you go. I need you guys to look at what I'm just clipped out from a fallacious reasoning standpoint. So we call this the pragmatic fallacy. What he just stated, because it works. So he's stating because it works, then therefore the Earth can be a globe. So the description of the pragmatic fallacy is such as this: claiming that something is true because the person making the claim has experienced, or referencing to someone who has experienced some practical benefit from believing the thing to be true. The practical benefit is often summarized as it works. The person is confusing the truth value of the claim with the results from believing the claim to be true. So then it gives you the logical form. I believe X is true. Believing in X results in practical benefit Y. Therefore, X is true. So that's called a pragmatic fallacy.
Cool.
And so
Awesome.
Bustabesta.
Nice one, brother.
Right,
Yeah,
but
good
I'm
shit,
saying
bro.
I'm just pointing out that
I get you. I get you.
Fallacy, so.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're all good, mate. You fucking got me on that one. Look,
Well, it's not
get
a
it.
gotcha. What it is, Buster.
Yeah, no,
what
it is, mate. It's all good. It's all good.
But check this out.
It's good. I
know, but check this
understand
out.
all the little logic games you guys like to play.
No, it's not a logic game. This is how we communicate.
Get it.
Buster.
It's all
Like,
good.
listen.
It's all good.
No,
No,
relax,
You
relax,
got me on
brother.
the logic. You got me on the logic. It's great.
The logic is
congratulations.
Needed.
No.
Relax.
Here's a little clap for you, mate. I'll give you a little golf clap.
All right, so I'm gonna have to mute you because
Mayhem's one of our main guys in here. He's actually a good guy. He's but this is how these points are argued, man. Like, you know, if it's a fallacious reasoning, then
I'll
it's
tell
not
him.
it's not logical, man. But
I'll let him know. Thank you very much. Busta, I'm just telling you this because when people commit these logical fallacies and you say you already know that's our game, it sounds to you like it is a game, and it's not. This is how we reason and talk to people. If we can communicate in a way that's reasonable and logical, then we're able to speak the truth. So if true things are being spoken here and people are committing logical fallacies and we don't point them out and explain why they're committed and what they were about, then everybody else, like the listening audience, doesn't understand why what you're saying is either logically consistent or illogical. So having to point them out does lend credence to the conversation. So people can say, okay, maybe he was logically inconsistent, but is there a reason why? And this is the reason when we go through these logical inconsistencies, such as the one I just pointed out, it gives you a better stance as to like, wait, maybe I can rethink what I just said. Okay. So, and I'm only doing it for everyone's benefit. I'm not just pointing it out because it was a logical fallacy, but because perhaps you can, rethink your position and maybe think maybe it was a logical fallacy, right? Pragmatic fallacy, like as I just stated. So I'm going to go ahead and mute you, but
And secondly to that, like I said, in the VC check-in, man, like, if I was saying the same thing, Mayhem would be in here and calling me out on this and booting me out of this conversation and taking it over. We're all held to account here.
Everybody is. There's no distinction between flat Earth and globe Earth conversations. If you're able to handle the conversation well, then that's fine. But if some flat Earther is committing logical fallacies, then the senior members will jump in and kind of assess that convo.
Oh, I bet they won't, mate.
Yeah, no. We always do.
I can fucking guarantee that they won't. No way.
No, they do. I can tell you that honestly, Buster. They do. It's honesty.
That's honesty, bro. We do it. We held each other. We held each other.
Flat earthers that I've ever fucking met that do that. That's
right,
true.
But that's why Buster. That's why this culture that we have in here, we've curated it for many years now. But we do it so that people don't mistake conversations from people just making claims to like us actually going through the logical and reasonable conversations that we have in here. If we can't reason with somebody, then we lose. It's a breakdown in communication. We're losing.
Oh shit! You lose the fucking debate, 100%.
Right. So we have to have a good
stance. If you use a logical
100%.
fallacy in a debate, you fucking instantly lose that argument.
No, that's incorrect. That right there is just an easy way. That's an easy way to say that I don't have to be held to a standard. Like you just want to say things, and if you're saying things that are fallacious in reason, then you're able to usurp the conversation and take it any direction you want, and that's just not logically possible in a conversation where people are speaking truth.
Well, in a debate setting, if you were to ask a fallacious question, well, I don't have to answer it because it's not a question that requires an answer. It's a fallacy.
You don't have to. Well, you don't have to answer any fucking questions.
No, right, but logically, in that situation, I'm not required to answer it regardless because it's not actually a question. It's fallacious reasoning. There is no question to answer.
So I don't know, old dude, did you want to? I'm sorry, Busta. Old dude, did you want to come in here and say what you typed in there? Because I don't think he understands the ramifications of this discussion.
I understand exactly what logical fallacies are, mate.
And not that. Not that. No, I want him to kind of tell you about what we do in here, not.
Yeah, the forums maintain so that it's a fair and honest floor. Anyone pulling rank just to overspeak someone or play a ha-ha gotcha because that's fallacious. We don't do that, dude. It's purely for the sake of the argument and the fact. And like, as I've said in text, I've actually banned flat earthers for using fallacious argument and not backing up their game and playing sneaky.
You fucking should.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah. I mean, like, don't feel that you're here amongst a group of, it's like you and all of us. Like, we're actually all for you in this.
We want for people to present the best. Go ahead. That was old, dude. We want people to present the best argument they can for a position that they hold. So if you're holding this position that the Earth is a globe, then do it without committing these logic. Well, we like to say that, right? You're advocating for a position.
The position I'm holding is I don't know what the fuck it is. I want to know why you've got engineering handbooks that are talking about calculating or taking into consideration the curve of the Earth when they're building large-scale projects versus small-scale projects where they don't have to.
Right, so they're not.
If it didn't mean anything, then it wouldn't be in the fucking engineering handbook.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, okay, and I know why you're saying it. So I'd like to address that, if you let me, like without coming in. So basically, when people are doing things like what you just said, or committing these, instruction manuals to like putting information in there, is because they've been taught a specific way. So let's say, for the globe's sake, right? People are thinking the Earth is a globe that's spinning in the vacuum of space. Do they know that it is? Or are they superimposing a geometric shape over the Earth that they stand upon? So if I live on this Earth and I'm telling you it's a specific geometric shape, what is the reasoning behind that? Is it because I know that it is a geometric shape, like the way I'm claiming that it is, like an oblate spheroid? Or do I just say things because I've been told that it is? And I don't have any support for it being as such. I'm just telling you that the R value that I insert in any of the formulas for mathematical purposes, like in surveying, are inserted into the formula because it's a foregone conclusion, and I don't have to look back and see if the Earth, or validate that the Earth is a globe. So it's like saying the Earth is a dodecahedron because I was told that it was, and I'm inserting the formula for dodecahedron into the values of the Earth that I stand upon. So then you would say, well, how the fuck do you know it's a dodecahedron, man? Like, can we address that? Like, maybe you might have those questions, and I tell you, oh, I don't need to do it because it's in the formula. Do you see what I mean? Like, I'm not questioning the fact where I got the geometric shape from. I'm just telling you it's already understood that it is one. So then it just begs the question, which is another part of fallacious reasoning, right? If you beg the question, that means that you're already putting what you proposed at the very beginning, that it is, in the statement that it already has been found to be what the geometric shape you say that it is. without any understanding of how it was even derived. So we're having a conflict in understanding right now. Like in this server, we're asking people to critically think about these questions. So like the road that perhaps you're on right now, is you're wondering why it's in there. We're asking the question, has it been validated that it has been looked at as the Earth being an oblate spheroid? So we're not getting to that. You're more interested in like, why did they put it in there? And we're telling you that is right now at best a secondary conversation or derivative topic versus the one that we need to figure out. How has it been validated that it is this geometric oblate spheroid that they're telling us it is? Once we address that and find out whether it is or isn't that, then we can address perhaps what is the reasoning behind them putting it into this manual that you're looking at. So we have to go back to the first premise, right? Is the Earth a oblate spheroid like they're telling us with the measurements that they say, right? Because this isn't our claim. Some people advocate for the claim that the Earth is a globe. It sounds like you're not, which I mean, if you don't have a vested interest in it, I think it would behoove you to actually go back to the premise and investigate whether it is or not, right? Based on whatever fundamental information and knowledge base that you have. Is that fair? Like, I don't want to sound unreasonable to like not answering your questions about why it's in the surveying handbook, but I want to address the situation first off, whether it is actually validated as an oblate spheroid or not. Is that fair, Busta? Because we could argue the toss about why it's in that handbook, and you might say, okay, well that's fair, or disagree. That's not fair.
Yeah, I get that.
So we're not gonna.
No. Can I ask him a question, Buster?
I'm down with all that. I get that.
Have you seen the black swan image? Have they gone through that with you?
Is that the oil rig?
Yes. Did you understand what it was about?
I've heard about this and I've seen photos of it. People have posted it on Twitter, I think.
Has someone got the motor stolen? Yep, there it is.
It's posted for you. Go ahead, AJ.
Can you see in the live stream voice text?
Where do I see that?
Just above.
Does he have the roll?
Oh no, he's only got a voice roll at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, he's able to. If he's got voice verified, he's able to see it. So it's the text channel right above the voice channel you're in, Busta.
Is this an accept invite? What is this? Fuck.
No, just above live stream. You know where we were before and we went to welcome and looked at the rules in that screen? Just above where it says live stream, where your name is now, there'll be live stream voice text. Just click on that box and you should be able to see.
PC check-in.
No, below. Keep coming down. You'll see just above live stream.
So if the voice channel that you're in right now, are you
live stream voice text?
I see it. Real quick before you guys continue, I just want to give a shout out to Donato. He donated $5 to my channel. I appreciate you, bro. So thank you, Donato.
I've seen this before. Yeah. I got this.
So if P, then Q, not Q, therefore not P. So if the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3,959 miles, P, then every horizon distance measurement must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Q, geometric horizon. So that is our curvature calculator based off of their radius, yeah? So now we've got a picture here of a 1 foot observer height where the max distance to the physical geometric horizon that should be hiding boats and buildings is 1.22 miles. But we can see here that we got platform habitat at 6.21 and platform hill house at 6.21 and habitat at 9.41, and we can see the horizon is well in the distance of this picture. So the oil rigs have nothing to do with this. We're looking at the horizon well beyond. So we can see here, as per the motor stolen, if not Q, not P. Would you agree?
What I want to know is why are the cranes on the oil rig all fucked up?
Well, that's just due to the atmo conditions at the time. But regardless of that, we're not looking at those fucked up cranes because of the atmo conditions that are occurring.
Straight. They're all fucking crooked and shit.
And it's exactly like we spoke about earlier when you're looking at a pool light through water. You know, the atmos contains water and, you know, it depends on the temperature and the density and the thickness of what's going on there. And you're going to see different images, but we're not concerned with that there. We're concerned with the distance to the horizon because we can see here, according to their radius, that physical sphere edge horizon can be no more than 1.22 miles in this photo, and we can see that horizon well beyond 9.41 miles. Therefore, it does not work.
You guys are basing that on the 8 inches per square mile thing, right?
Well, 8 inches per square mile.
Sorry, 8 inches per mile squared.
Yes, correct. Is good up to at least 1,000 kilometres.
That's to determine the drop height due to the curvature of the Earth, right?
Correct, according to their radius of 3,959 miles.
Yeah, so you guys, you're using the 8-inch rule.
Well, that's just not from that curvature calculator. This is done daily out at sea. You know, if you do any navigation at sea, you actually know that your horizon is always 1.22 miles from the observer's height in feet. That's a known equation for sailing.
Right, but you're not taking into account the observer's height and the atmospheric refraction.
Well, we are here. We're taking in the observer's height of 1 foot, which would dictate a horizon at 1.22 miles, a physical horizon, where we can see the horizon well beyond 9.41 miles.
You can see that far because of refraction. That's the reason why you can see that oil rig.
So you're telling me that the Earth is moving because a physical horizon at 1.22 miles cannot refract itself backwards over 10 miles. That's impossible.
Obviously, that photograph is only possible because of the refraction, and then you can see that on the crane.
So you're claiming that the horizon, the physical. Hang on, no, it is a claim because what you're saying.
You can see the refraction on the photo. The evidence of the refraction is clear on the photo that I'm looking at right now.
Then the claim is
I can wobbly and bend.
Okay, so then
you can't have a crane like that to work. A crane like that will not work. No one's
denying the wobbly cranes, so just hang on for a second. I'm not denying your wobbly cranes and what's occurring there.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's
but what I am denying is that according to your logic and what you're stating here with what's occurring with the cranes, your statement is that the physical curvature of the Earth that is supposed to be at 1.22 miles offshore from this observer has now refracted itself backwards over 10 miles, allowing us to see that distance of 10 miles. That is impossible. That is not how refraction works.
How does?
Here's the other problem. It makes.
I'm going to be honest. I'll be honest with you guys. Maths is one of my fucking weakest fucking things. Okay, I'll be straight up honest with you. You will be able to pull the wool over my eyes with any mathematics.
Explain it in a simpler way, man. Simpler way, right? If we look at it in kilometers, let's just look at it in kilometers, man.
Calm down, man. Buster, calm down.
If there's a physical curve in front of your eyes,
calm down, cunt.
He's right, man. He's good.
Let's refrain from that, man. Where AJ's going to take you through it. If that's a bit more difficult,
we say cunt all the time down here in Australia.
I know. But what I'm saying is AJ will take you through it. If that seems difficult for you, he's going to break it down. So I think we'll give him a shot.
I just want to bring up one point.
Math sucks.
Well, this is a logical argument. It has nothing to do with math. If the horizon is moving around, right? When you go look out at the ocean and you see the horizon at any particular location, if it's moving around, then the horizon is not a physical location, it's an optical location. So when someone says ships go over the curve of the earth, when they go off from the distance, you can't see the bottom, then you don't see the mast. Well, if that horizon's an optical effect, and it's not the physical edge of a ball, ships over the horizon, sunsets, anything using the horizon as some indicator of what the earth is fallacious.
Yeah, this curvature at 1.22 miles is physical. It's a physical hill that you should not be seeing past that cannot move. Yeah, so let's try and break it down simpler in kilometers maybe, or, you know, if you've got a brick wall in front of you at 5 kilometers, is refraction going to make that, and there's something behind that brick wall, is refraction then going to make that brick wall appear that it's at 10 kilometers and bring all those things behind it back in view in front of itself? It can't occur. That's not how refraction works. What you're seeing with a bendy crane is refraction.
Also, a point of interest in this conversation is something that to think about, Busta. When we speak of this 8 inches per mile squared, do you think that we are using it from a standpoint of, like, let's say, a flat earth perspective, that maybe some flat earthers came up with this math or formula to then kind of use it to debunk the earth being a globe, as in it was our idea, like it's our information? Because I think maybe there's a point of conflict from your mindset to think that when it's being used in a way to thwart the efforts of a person thinking the earth as a globe. Like, because we came up with it. I'm not sure if that's maybe why.
I know. I don't know. Not at all, mate. I know that you guys are using the globe Earth calculations. I know that.
All right. No, yeah, but what I'm saying
that's
is,
what
though,
you
like,
guys always you. No, but I get it. Like, you guys always hold this over the globe people. Always.
Well, we're not holding it over them. We're just saying that this is a fact. However, we can prove
always
that
use
this is
it
not a fact.
like when you always go for the curve calculations when everything else fails. That is the one thing you.
No, what I'm thinking is, yeah. Do you think that it's valid to then what they're telling us the size of the Earth is using this math is valid to go into the field, right? Go somewhere and test to see if these calculations add up to what we're seeing. Do you think that's personal? Do you think it's reasonable for us to say, okay, we got some calculations here that somebody said, well, we're going to go into the earth and go test them. Like, let's go see if that curvature is actually there.
Of course,
I don't see anything wrong with that, but unless you do, but
there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. So why is it in the argumentation when we're saying, hey guys, have you seen the 8 inches per mile squared? And then it gets thrown back to us as like, why is that a gotcha? Like, in this arena, in this specific topic, it sounds like we're trying to get somebody on a gotcha, when it's really like, have you tested it? We're asking people that. Have you seen if the earth actually conforms to these numbers that they're, this math that they're telling us? I mean, that seems a bit unreasonable for somebody to say, why are you using that math? And we're like, well, isn't this the math you given us? This is the math you've given us.
I'm not asking you why you're using that math. I know why you're using that math.
The radius can be a different value than the radius they claim.
Then why do you have an issue with actually using it and saying it's like a last-ditch resort? Because for me, this is the first point I go to, because if we're on the Earth, we want to directly measure...
point, whatever the fuck you want to, however you want to use it.
Yeah, but I use it first because I'm standing on the Earth and I want to know what I'm standing on.
Go for it. If you want to do if you wanted to come out swinging and do the power move straight away, go for it.
Well, it's not really a power move.
Every argument is derived from the radius. You can't have orbits, you can't have flight paths, you can't have distances, you can't have anything without the radius value. Yeah. They're all calculated off the radius.
It's a massive power.
So the mathematical Busta,
then if it's a massive power, then it's obviously a massive gotcha, and there is no argument.
Think about it. Think about it, Busta. 1 second.
That's why the flat Earth is always.
We've got a runaway train. Hang on. I'm gonna have to mute you. I don't like doing this. All right, but when I'm speaking, I want you to be heard. I want to be heard so that you can understand the difference here, like what you're trying to tell us. Well, we're telling you it's the mathematical construct of what defines the geometric shape. The geometric shape of the thing you are standing on is defined, right? The definition behind it. Like if I was to say oblate spheroid, what does that mean to you? Does that oblate spheroid have dimensions? Can we measure it? Because obviously, if that is the case, then we should have some math that actually dictates, math is a language. Math should be able to dictate what it is, as in the size, the drop rate over distance. All these things should matter to any average person who says, hey, I have a question. How big is the Earth? So we're going to go right there to that. So that's why it's important, because we're defining the very geometric shape of the thing we are with the measurements. So I'm sorry. I apologize that I have to mute you, but like maybe you might get worked up in this conversation. I just unmuted you, Busta. It's difficult, man. Like to have a conversation with somebody and reason with them that it's not our gotcha or first power move. It's like we're basically just telling you this is what they're telling all people. How are we not talking about this if it's the thing that should be in question? Are we validating the radius, diameter, and circumference of this oblate spheroid or not?
I've actually got a question for Buster. And bro, I think if you're honest with yourself, I think you already know the Earth's flat, but you're fighting with it because it doesn't conform or it's something else, and you've got a real issue with it there. But I think that from the questions you're asking and what you truly do understand amongst all this argument, I believe you really do know it's flat. And but you have an issue with knowing that. Would I be right in saying that?
No, it's an interesting statement, mate. I've got a question for you guys. How long have you guys been researching the flat Earth?
AJ can tell you. I've been doing it 8 years.
How many years?
Oh, look, I've probably believed the Earth is flat for over 10, but actually researching it in depth,
I mean,
probably about 5.
Research.
Probably about 5.
Yeah, all right, let's go around the room.
Well, when you say research flat Earth, that actually means investigating.
Been researching everything to do with flat Earth. I mean,
not just online, but
investigating the globe model. Really, when you research flat Earth, you have to know the globe model first, right? Like,
yeah,
sure. But I mean, like the first time you ever heard someone say that the Earth is flat, and then they showed a bunch of things that made you go, "Holy shit!" Made you question the.
There was an observation first, right? So there's a well-known video of someone taking video or a photograph across Lake Michigan of Chicago.
Yep.
So the Chicago skyline. So I saw that news broadcast first before I ever heard about flat Earth or anything like that. It wasn't part of a flat Earth video. And this guy's like, this has to be a mirage. Well, it can't be a mirage because mirages are double images. There's 2 types of mirages. Well, there's 3 types. So there's the Fata Morgana, where the thing's floating above the water.
Yep.
Then there's the inferior mirage, where the bottoms are touching each other. And then there's the superior mirage, where the tops are touching each other. Other than the Fata Morgana, the other 2 are double images. And it's definitely not floating in the sky. So I knew right then that this guy's full of shit. This isn't a mirage. This, if you do the math, this view should not be possible. So why is it possible?
Well, the atmospheric refraction is obviously strong enough to make it happen.
Yeah, well, you investigate that, right? So you investigate this refraction claim. Is there any evidence for it? There's none. The evidence for refraction in the globe model is it's a globe. We see too far, therefore there must be refraction. But independent of that, right, is there any experiments? Is there any measurements, quantifications, models that work, anything? There's nothing. There's nothing to support it. And in fact, all the peer-reviewed literature on trying to quantify it, no model works of dozens of them going back 150 years. They make no predictions at all. You can't. No model of refraction that exists in the world today makes predictions that are accurate. None. Not one. I can't show you a photograph, tell you the weather conditions, right? Go, okay, so here are the weather conditions, or here's a picture, this is the geometry, tell me what the weather was that day. based upon your model of refraction. Input the values, right? You should be able to reverse engineer and tell me what the weather was from a photograph.
Right,
because you guys are saying, here's a photograph. Yeah. Everything is displaced in some way. Therefore, there was a meteorological condition that made that image possible. Go, okay, so take your model and tell me what the weather was that day. Nobody can do that.
Obviously, it was a very clear day.
Well, for me, I used to spend a lot of time in the water. I used to live in Townsville up in North Queensland.
That's where I'm from.
Yeah, right. So I used to spend a lot of time out the reef fishing and stuff like that. And, you know, when I first got introduced into this and someone mentioned it to me, that was where I first started looking, because I was obviously given that Earth curvature calculator, and I was looking at navigation lights. I was looking at other ships, things out on the ocean over different distances, and calculating heights and just going, wow, this is impossible. But you can also sit on the beach in Townsville and look at the beach at Magnetic Island, 10 kilometres away, day and night. You can see the people sitting there. You can see the water. You can see the lights along the footpath there. So,
what are you using?
That was where I began.
That?
Sorry?
What device or are you using to see that?
You can do that with a good zoom camera. You can do that with even a good pair of binoculars.
Like a Nikon P series or something like that?
Yep.
You mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they have a whole bunch of tricks that those, and when I say tricks, I don't mean like making it false or nothing, but those cameras have a lot of pretty awesome tech that.
But I could clearly jump in my boat and go 10. I could clearly jump in my boat and go 10 kilometres across to that island and know that there wasn't like 7 metres of curvature between me and the other beach.
Okay. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that the Chicago fucking skyline is a bit further than 10 miles.
No, but there's, like 50, we're still restrained by a geometric shape, and according to that geometric shape, and you work out over that distance of 10 kilometres, again, you call this a gotcha moment or a, whatever you want to call it, a power move, but it's just a simple fact. Yeah. It's just a simple fact.
Yeah, that's what, you know, that's what I think. You guys always use the curve calculator against anyone who thinks that the Earth's a globe.
We're not. We're using it against the globe because we're testing it. We're testing the claim.
Exactly.
We're testing the claim that they're giving us, and we're coming up that their claim's not correct. So what do we do with that?
Because
we ignore that.
Calculations aren't exactly. You're kind of making some mistakes, and you're not really like.
But you haven't pointed out the mistakes, Busta. I think you're just saying we're making mistakes. You haven't pointed out the mistakes. Where are the mistakes being made here? If there's any to be made, are you just saying that because you want it to be a globe and you don't want to face the reality that it's not what they're telling us, or are you just
no?
Yeah, go ahead and point out the mistakes. Point them out to us.
Look,
where are we making
the reason why I was asking that, right, is because. Like, I was originally asking you guys, like, how long you've been researching this for, right? Because I've been researching this for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
And I've already been honest with you. My weakest fucking link is math. Okay, so every time you guys bring up the curve calculator and all that shit. That is something that's very difficult for me to fucking get my head around. But I can get my head around just about everything else in regards to the flat Earth research. But when it comes to the curve calculations, because I fucking suck at maths, it's the weakest thing in my life.
Okay, so where do you think that outside of math?
But that's what the globe is. That's what the globe is, a mathematical equation. So if you're claiming the globe, you're claiming a mathematical equation. That's what you're claiming.
Yeah. All right. So So what you guys, you're not using the correct formula.
Yes. The correct.
So, well, you guys use the 8 inches per mile squared to calculate the height.
What's the correct one? What's the correct one, bro? Tell us the correct one. Go ahead.
The following, right? Correct equation. The purpose of accounting for observers' height and atmospheric refraction is R equals RE over K, H equals R over.
Do you have a citation, Buster? Do you have a sorry about that? Do you have a citation for this?
No, you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
That makes it easier for the presentation.
Not sure, Buster.
No, I get that. I get that because I don't even understand the fucking math I'm looking
hang
at.
on, Buster. 1 second. AJ,
you guys probably do.
Buster, 1 second, bro.
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me? I said 1 second, bro. AJ, let him finish like presenting it, and then we can go through what he's presenting. Buster, I'm gonna give you link privileges so you can post what you're gonna put in the live stream voice text. Is that fair?
I know he wants to go through it, but there's really no point.
Yeah, I just wanted
saying 8 inches per mile squared is not exact. It's just so.
Yeah, I wanted to give this best.
I want to clarify something.
Oh, so now you guys are saying it's not exact.
Yeah, hang on, Buster.
No, let me clarify something. There is no exact formula. It doesn't exist. The one you're citing is not an exact formula. You know why? The sine and cosine, those functions, those trigonometric functions, those are not exact. Sine and cosine are an infinite series. They don't end. They're like pi, right? They go on forever. They're not exact. There is no exact formula. It does not exist.
Yeah, post the one that you're going to do.
When someone says 8 inches per mile squared is not exact,
awesome,
they're saying nothing because there is no exact formula. It's a red herring.
And you've just debunked your own fucking curve calculators, mate. So you can't use that in an argument.
But
then
they're not our curve.
It's not our claim. It's not our
the globe curve calculator. Then you guys can't use that as a fucking gotcha to a fucking globe.
Yeah, well, we can use the claimed radius.
If you're saying that it's.
Whoa, 1 second. I'm gonna have to mute you again because I don't like doing this, Busta. But I wanted you to present the information so that we can actually look at it. I know that Indio told you, but then if you haven't presented something that we can look at to say that it's not the 8 inches per mile squared, that it's something else, we haven't even seen what you're presenting. So I wanted you to present that, and then we can go through it. But then this is another tangent that we're on right now. So if we're not being thorough, we don't know what you're presenting. I don't know. I want you to present it, and then we can see if that even matches why you say 8 inches per mile squared isn't the correct way. And it sounds weird right now to my ears that you're saying, I don't know about math, but let me present some math to you, and then saying you're wrong. Well, didn't your first claim say that you didn't know what math was or how to do math? Now you're telling us that math is incorrect? I think the listening audience needs some clarification, Busta, on your part. So please put the math in the live stream voice text, por favor.
Okay, I'd also like to say, we are not the ones complaining about 8 inches per mile squared and that it's an approximation, right? They're all approximations.
Oh, Jamesy, I don't fucking math. You smart ass cunt.
Okay, so
can't you just
WS?
Yeah, I can see you fucking typing there.
Busta, post it. Post the information. I was asking for the citation. Post it.
I mean, whatever. So they're all approximations. That doesn't mean that we can't use approximations to get an idea, right? An idea if it's close. There's nothing wrong per se with using approximations. The decimal system in itself, I mean, just throw away all math if you want everything to be exact. There is an exact formula in a limited scenario, so it would be up to 1/8 of the circumference. You can use Pythagorean's theorem and rational numbers. When I say rational numbers, I mean, 1/8, 1/16, 1/32, those types of numbers. That will be exact for 1/8 of the circumference, but after that, it becomes inexact.
He deafened, didn't you?
No.
When in the beginning of your statement, he deafened.
Yeah, I just hate this. 8 inches per mile squared. That's not right. That's wrong. It's an approximation. Yeah, well, it's approximately correct for about 1,000 miles. And the difference between it and the sine cosine function is something like in 1,000 miles, I think it's 3,000 feet. And from 1,000 miles away, you wouldn't even be able to see 3,000 feet.
Yeah, there's some incorrect.
You couldn't measure the difference between one and the other.
There's some incorrect logic.
He's just posted it to me, I think, because he's been server muted here for swearing in the live stream chat. The bot got him, I think.
Oh, the bot got him. So he definitely.
Yeah, so he's using the same. He's using the same formula as the one that was just posted by Clipcord from Flat Earth Debunk.
Oh, he's using that. Okay. So that's what he's saying. That's the correct, but he's saying it's a correct formula. How does he know that's a correct formula if he doesn't understand math?
Why is he using? It's funny, man, because if you look at this, right, this guy kind of gave it away. So this refraction coefficient, this 0.13, that's what they use in Europe. They don't use that in the United States. They use 0.76R is 0.166. It's not
right,
0.3.
But there's, well,
I'm just saying, just throwing that out there, man.
We can point out that this math formula is also begging the question fallacy, isn't it?
Oh yeah, of course.
Easily.
Begging the question on refraction, begging the question on the radius, begging the question all over the place.
All over, almost every point there. Which is kind of I wanted him to give it his best shot and post what he thinks. But because he says he doesn't know math, and then he posts this from a, he says, I don't advocate for the globe. I can't tell. Because that's all you've been doing this whole time is advocating for the globe. And he's like, well, I'm not a glober. Yeah, you are.
Didn't he bring up surveying?
Yeah, you are.
Didn't he start there?
So, I don't know. I jumped in at that point. I don't know what else he was talking about prior to that.
Well, I mean, if he doesn't want to do any mathematical aspect, let's find out what he does want to talk about, and we'll talk about that.
Well, I've been talking to him because I did his VC check-in, and I've been basically talking the whole way through. I haven't really had any arguments or anything with him, but he's this is how a lot of Aussies are here. They talk this way.
Yeah, but, I mean, it doesn't bother.
It's just a thing. But yeah.
Some of you dead Culver's getting triggered now. It doesn't even bother me at this point.
Yeah.
I'd say AJ he's been a professional this entire time.
Well, AJ, what did he want to talk about? Like, what was his main thing? Like, what did he think was evidence?
So, in the beginning, when we were in the VC check-in, he was asking me a couple of questions about gas pressure and stuff like that, which is, I then directed him and said, well, we've done the check-in. I think we should go into the room and ask these questions. And we covered all that and the gas pressure, but there was another globe guy in here that was sort of defending and chiming in and was making some statements about it just, tapering off and, in a gradient, and there's, no containment required. But I think we covered all that quite clearly, everyone that was in here. And then it sort of moved on to this, and it moved on to surveying, from there. And now it's moved on to this. After the Black Swan, I went through the Black Swan with him.
Yeah, I heard all that. I mean, I'm wondering, how can you even cover the topic without using any mathematics, unless you're going to just go look at this picture or look at this video and that's it. But then, even if you do that, how do you evaluate the video or the picture if you're not going to use any math to see if it conforms to the radius?
Right. There's no standard. Yeah, there's no standard by which you're holding the information that you're consuming. So it's just...
Well, there's obvious issues with what they've posted as well, They need to know the refractive index on the day. This is just, again, based on some assumptions or some averages, but at the end of the day, everybody agrees upon that an average of 8 inches per mile squared is relevant up to, I think, at least 1,000 miles.
Indio actually went through this with Dogs Are Gods. You remember the conversation he had with them? He was asking him, what is the refractive index model that they have? What are they going off of? And he went to weather. I think he was one of the statements he made, Indio, to you was that he was using the refractive model from the weather. Like how they gather the understanding of the different types of weathers that they have, like the weather patterns. So
there's a whole bunch of models. That's the thing. Typically, 7.6R is just like an assumption. We're just going to assume, this bigger radius. But there's more intricate models which you actually plug in values, then that makes predictions. But none of them match reality. So some use the meteorological variables, right? So a temperature gradient that's 0.3 Celsius per meter elevation, and this much humidity, this much carbon dioxide, just what I mean, depending on how complicated you want to get into the model, right? But none of them actually work, do anything. Right. They all spit out different results.
And so, like, there isn't a model, a refractive model that they're going to be able to use as a baseline or a gold standard, and then say they're going to apply that to the, whatever. Like, if you're saying you're looking at the black swan image, if there was such a thing as that model that would be able to detail what was going on, you'd be able to say how much refraction was happening at that moment, because it fluctuates throughout the day. Like how much you can see in the
second to second, man.
Yeah, so you can't just say that it's so complicated because it's not a static, it doesn't have static properties.
Exactly. And I think what he tried to do is bring up the generalized refraction model, right? Snell's law.
Right.
Didn't he try to bring that up? Which is just a general model. But we're not talking about the general phenomena of refraction. We're talking about it very specifically in a specific context.
Yep.
Terrestrial refraction.
Terrestrial. And so that can be only described in a very specific way, but like using Snell's law, you can't.
Because there's no. Yeah, you can't use Snell's law. There's no boundary. Snell's law is simplified because it has a clear two mediums, well-defined boundary. It's not complex. But once you start getting complex, right? When you have a gradient,
density gradient,
all bets are out the window. Snell's law stops working, and you have to use other mathematical methods.
So when they say density gradient, you're like, okay, define the boundaries between these gradients. Can you do that? Where are the boundaries at? There is no boundaries. They have this, have you seen the depictions of where they show the layer cake of atmosphere? You got the thermosphere and the exosphere and all these other spheres that are above us in a layer cake, going up. So how do they know all of these? Everything seems so like well defined, static, like this is the way it is, kind of thing. It's
of course the air is super dynamic, man. It isn't just sitting there, man, unless you're like in the desert or something. And then what do we see in the desert? Mirages, see way too far, sun doesn't set,
air turbulence. There's
air turbulence. Like refraction, like terrestrial refraction is more like looking into a slow moving river, right? At the stones at the bottom, right? They kind of like move around a little bit, but they don't like appear like 6 feet to the left or 6 feet to the right? They just like kind of shimmer or whatever. And that's kind of like what light does through the air, kind of like shimmers around, doesn't stay in one exact place. Well, what they're claiming is that the horizon is jumping 10 miles away from you.
It's interesting because you want somebody to actually think about things critically so that they won't fall into these illogical traps that they put themselves into. Because we don't do it, they do it. Like he does.
He's there, obviously.
Right.
Is he server muted?
No, he's deafened, AJ. He deafened himself.
Oh, is he deafened himself? Because he thinks that we've deafened him.
No, he locally deafened himself.
Yeah, if we deafen him, his headset will appear red.
And his microphone, if we muted him, it would appear red. Maybe he's just not.
Well, I mean,
knowing how
he was done it before, accidentally deafened himself and thought he got shook in.
Yeah, that's what's happened. He's very new to Discord. Today it took us about half an hour and check in to get his mic working, and he was messaging me back and forwards.
Tell him he's locally deafened, AJ. So what's up,
Murray, man? How are you?
All good, man. I want just to tell you, like, I appreciate your work, and this guy, like, squeezing him to the corner instead of like just insta-banning him, where like you just like he's just trapped now, and him deafening himself, I think, just like a claiming defeat. So very good job, guys, as always, and keep it going.
I think he just didn't know how to manage Discord. That's all. Buster, you're back.
Just had an error.
Yeah, I don't know how to fucking manage shit.
That's fine. We can pick up where we were at.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we know the audio. Like it took Nathan Oakley like 6 months to get Discord to work. The audio.
Yeah, people in here. It's not friendly.
Nathan Oakley is. Who's Nathan Oakley?
You should go and watch Nathan Oakley. He'd drive you mad.
Yeah.
He does a YouTube show called Flat Earth Debate, where they debate Globers. It's pretty much.
Is he a flat earther dude, or is he the globe dude?
Dude.
Okay.
Get to hear what he tries to get on the best so-called Globers and hear their arguments.
All right, so let's see if we can jump back into the point that we were at. Bust up. We got some time.
Did you guys see? Did you get the math that I fucking posted?
Yeah, we saw that. We were gonna go through it, but you have link images privileges. You can do it yourself in live stream voice text now. I gave you the permission to do so.
I think the bot removed it.
What?
I think all I know is the bot removed it.
No, he still has it.
Okay.
All I know is that I got muted and the sound got muted and I couldn't hear or speak or anything. So then I was just like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, you locally did that, so it wasn't us. It was the.
I didn't mute the sound.
Well, it was Discord then, so we'll just chalk it up to some technical difficulties. Anyway,
shutting down people in a debate is just not the way.
We didn't do that. We didn't do that, Buster.
All right.
So
when we do it,
my apologies if I, accused you or thought you guys did, because from my end that's what it looked like.
So what we're telling you, like when someone, so if you look down at Nappy, right, you see how it's red. His microphone is red. Look in this live stream voice text. When we do it, it's red. When you do it, it's white.
Yep.
Okay. Oh wait, hang on. If that's in.
When I do it, it's black.
If you look down below your name, where all our names are listed, and next to everyone's name, there's a speaker and a microphone, a headset and a microphone.
Yep.
You'll see Naffy's has got a red microphone. That's because if you put your mouse over him, you'll see that it says server muted. So if it's red, it's muted by the server.
Okay. All right.
And one of us done it. Yeah. All right. So let's see if we can go back to the argument that we were in, so that we can maybe cover some ground. I don't know your position. I asked you earlier, Busta, if you think the Earth is a globe. You said no.
I'm on the fence, mate.
Yeah, but it's good that you kind of listen. It's good that you kind of are challenging the fact that if it's a globe or not. So I can appreciate your stern position, because you don't want to just blindly believe something, right? Wouldn't that be fair to say that? Okay, but
not at all, mate.
But at the same time, let's try to be reasonable in this discussion. Let's not try to commit these begging the question, and if there is any fallacies committed, we'll just state it so that you can understand why. We can even go through why, people would commit these fallacies. But at the same time, you make sure that your position, the one that you just stated right now with this math, okay. And we'll go through it. That's why I wanted you to post it in the live stream voice text so everybody can see that.
Yeah, no, I was getting to that. I had to look through my fucking tabs. I've got a million fucking tabs, and it wasn't easy to find.
Okay, so can we talk about that image again, or?
Yeah, I mean, I sent you the link to the actual the website's written there as well, mate. It says hidden formula. Earth WS/hidden formula. So you guys can go there and check it out and go through, and it expands more than just what the meme says. But they, you understand why they've made the meme. They try and compress it all into easily digestible.
They're condensing it. Yeah, they're condensing it. We get the gist.
Of course.
All right, so we can go through that meme if you'd like. I think we.
Sure, go for it. I mean,
they've shown this.
Good luck trying to get me to understand it, because I'm not good at math. But
no, we're not good.
Well, we're going to. If you don't understand it, why would you post it? Why do you think that this is accurate? How did you evaluate this information? I mean,
I just
I should just trust these guys.
No, well, I looked at the sources, right? And what are the sources? Yeah, advanced curve calc. I mean, that advanced. Have you guys ever used the advanced curve calculator by Walter Bislin?
Yes, I've used a bunch of them. There's problems with Bislin. I actually use
the Walter Bislin one's really good because the Walter Bislin one's really good because it actually takes into account refraction and field of view and observer height, target distance, all these things, right?
Yeah.
Curve calculators do not do that.
Okay, so the problem with that is that you can take the sliders and adjust it to match any observation Which
that's right, and then you can.
Yeah, so that's a post-diction, not a prediction.
You can. What you can do is you can adjust all those sliders so that they accurately line up perfectly with the things that you're observing in the real world. So, for example, you can go to a particular location. He's actually even got examples on there. You go to the fucking home. Where is it?
Look,
it's in
I can get into like detail about each one of his like samples. There's problems with each one of them.
Yeah, he's got samples where he superimposes
the Black
over
Swan
the photos.
one. So if you look at the oil rigs one, I'll just use this as an example, and you look at what the values are in his default. He has the camera tilted up, and then if you extend the distance, the image of you can see the rays invert, right? They actually cross each other and turn upside down. You're actually seeing a cut out piece of what you would see, because the default distance is 15 kilometers. Well, the furthest rig is farther than that. So if you expand it out, you change that default distance to say 30 kilometers, and look at the rays. The rays are inverted. According to his curve calculator, the oil rig should be upside down. But yeah, the oil rig should be upside down according to his little refraction calculator. So when you have rays and they invert, they cross over, and like the ray that was at the bottom is now on the top, and the top ray is at the bottom. That is an upside down image. I could just go on it and show it to you.
Yeah, show me. I don't know what you're talking about, mate.
I'm talking about his refraction calculator.
Yeah.
So he's got two. Okay. He has a atmospheric refraction simulator. I don't know if you've seen it.
I'm trying to find it.
He might put the images up or post something in the
live stream. I'm gonna post it. Like, it takes a second for this to render, so let it render.
There it is, Earth curvature simulation. Yeah. Yeah. So on this one, he's got a whole bunch of shit. It's got that Chicago skyline you were talking about. That's
yeah.
Okay,
so you have this, right? So this is what he shows. This is like, oh, look, I use my calculator to match it, right? Let me show you. You can actually do the ray path.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
he goes side by side with the flat Earth simulation as well, too, right? You know that.
Yeah. So like they have these values, right? Globe, flat.
So
barometric pressure. So you can display the image. The rays, the path of the rays they actually take. So, in his so-called simulator,
it's fucking better than any fucking simulator you guys have produced.
Because they don't make predictions.
When I say you guys, I mean the flat Earth community. I've never fucking seen a simulation.
Let me ask you a question. What don't you understand about the difference between a prediction and a post-diction?
I don't fucking know what that is, mate. So why don't you explain to me?
Okay, so you make a prediction, right? You take a model, right? So you have a model.
Prediction, to predict something, yeah. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you go, okay, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to go out there, and we're going to feed this data into the model, and we're going to make a prediction. Then we're going to go out and test it. And then if the test matches the model, where we can say that the model is accurate, at least for this test. They're not doing that. What they're doing is they're making the observation, and then they're fiddling with the model until the model matches the observation. This is called a post-diction.
You can go into his blog and it will tell you.
It's a sharpshooter fallacy.
Yeah. So I can take these sliders and these values, right, and I can manipulate them to match any image. But is that actually evidence that the conditions that existed at the time the image was taken actually existed in reality?
No, it just says you can get a pretty close approximation, mate.
Approximation to what? Reality?
Yeah. Of course you
can. How is that tested?
You're a 6 foot. Let's say if you're a 6 foot tall person standing on a fucking shoreline, looking out across the fucking lake to bloody Chicago or whatever from Michigan. Oh, and on a clear day, You know, you can get pretty fucking close with your simulation and compare it to the reality.
Yeah.
But you're only supposed to see 3 miles.
But that's not what they do.
Well, listen, by manipulating the sliders, right, and changing, like, just inputting any temperature gradient, even though they're non-physical, right? So say 20 degrees Celsius temperature gradient in 1 meter, which is absurd. That doesn't exist on Earth.
Have you checked his source code? Because it's all open source.
Yeah. Busta, hang on. Let me just say this real quick. Let me just say this real quick, Busta. Check this out. Go to live stream voice text. I'm gonna post something for you. It was mentioned just like a bit ago by AJ. So I'm gonna post an image. It's a pretty funny little meme, but I need you to look at this. I'm gonna give it context.
Is this
give me a second.
The one of the?
No. This is just an image. I want you to think about like what we're talking about in here. So
is it the bullseye fucking shit?
Yeah, it's a cowboy drawing like little. He's painting lines around his bullseye, right?
Yeah.
So let me post the relevance to that, and the next thing that I'm posting. It's called a sharpshooter fallacy, right? A man fires a gun several times at the side of a barn and then draws a circle around the cluster of the most of the bullet holes, drawing a target respectively like this doesn't prove that the sharpshooting skills of the gunman. No one would ever consider him being a sharpshooter, even if they knew what he'd done. So basically, what that guy's doing up there is saying that he shot right dead center in the middle of that target when he's just shooting wildly. Do you know what I mean?
You're painting a target around a bullet hole that already exists to make it look like he got the target. Yeah.
Right, yeah. That's what they're doing.
And I'm gonna. So I want to demonstrate that this is actually what he's doing. So this is the render for the oil rigs. So if you look at these values that are defaulted in there, see how it says observer height, and underneath that, like you got the camera parameters. It says observer height, zoom, tilt. Yeah. Camera's tilted up 1/10 of a degree. Now, if you go through all his other samples, not a single one is like that. Not a single one. Now, you can also change this little, where these rays, right? This distance at the bottom, this distance in kilometers, 15 kilometers. Like I was saying earlier, if I up this distance, and I'm going to show it in a minute, to 30 kilometers, so it actually encompasses where the rigs were, you're going to see the rays inverted. Which would mean, right, that these little blue lines are supposed to represent the path of light. Okay, these are supposed to be rays. So, but this distance isn't the distance to the oil rigs. It's less than what the oil rigs are. So when I expand this distance, right, and I make it farther, what you're gonna see is that the rays became inverted. So just give me a second to do that. You can talk, maybe, whatever.
Yeah, so I just wanted to draw your attention to the sharpshooter fallacy in that they're committing that in this specific model. They're drawing a circle or painting a target around their what they want you to look at, the information that's being given here. So they're saying that it's accurate because they're making it look like it's accurate, but they're not actually. It's not accurate. The accuracy of it is only derived because you're actually trying to figure. You're messing with the values. It's not the reality of the known, sample set of like what reality's doing at the time.
Yeah, so they're not looking at the actual refraction compared to the actual picture.
Correct.
What they're doing is they're looking at the picture and adjusting the refraction until it meets the picture, which is not reality. It's not tested against reality.
So they're painting a target.
All right, I get that.
Yeah. So they're painting a target around the bullet hole is all they're doing. That's what they're doing here.
Awesome. So show me a fucking photo of those oil rigs without all fucked up cranes.
We can't.
I already did, actually. Look in live stream voice text. So this is 10. This is even farther away. This is 10.10 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I posted an image in live stream voice text. Do you see any fucked up cranes, any refraction, any weird shit going on?
Are you talking about the screenshot?
Yeah, it says impossible geometric globe horizon at 10.10 miles.
It's a YouTube video, right?
Yeah, it's a screenshot from a YouTube
video. Cool. Link me the original YouTube video.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, but like even it presented something that goes against what you were saying.
I gotta go, guys.
Right?
I gotta hit.
All right,
I gotta press iron. All right, bye.
So basically presenting some information that goes against what the claim that you might have thought, well, show me something that don't show bendy cranes, and when something's presented, you're like, I need to now apply some more rigor to what you guys are showing me. Don't you think that's a little bit illogical for you to say that when this is the information you wanted, and now it's like, give me more, I need to know more. Oh, no, that's not true. Like, why would you? We're presenting you everything that you wanted, and even showing you the reason why these guys are making them error that they have been with refraction.
Yeah.
So why doesn't that make sense, bro? Like I don't understand. Why does
cranes have nothing to do with it? We're looking at the actual horizon. Can you show me how that physical curve that should not move is moving everywhere, and apparently it's actually refracting 10 miles back and then refracting everything that's behind it back in front of itself? That's just mind-boggling, dude.
Yeah, well, the reason why you guys use that black swan is because it's like a cherry-picked thing that happened on.
Bro, why do you feel this way? Why do you like, Busta? Do you see why your mind goes to these things? Like, let me dip into the psychology a little bit, and outside of hang on, Busta. Outside of I know you show me something. I'm going to talk about that photo in just a second, but I want to dive into a little bit of the psychology behind. I want to dive into the psychology behind why you are saying these things. And so you're not coming from a place of true skepticism or honesty. You're coming from like, I want the Earth to be a globe, and you're showing me evidence that it's not a globe. Now I want to retort in a way that I want to keep my idea that it's a globe, Busta.
You're not showing me anything that's fucking blowing my mind and convincing me.
Well, this should be blowing your mind because they're the ones that actually lie. They're the ones actually giving you a false idea of what their presentation of what they're showing you.
That's your fucking claim.
It's not. We're demonstrating
like that. Then no. If you make a claim like that,
they made the claim. Listen, they made the claim, and we're demonstrating that it's not true. They're making the claim. We're demonstrating that it's not true.
I'm demonstrating.
What extraordinary evidence are you looking for?
I've just shown you a photo of those oil rigs from the same fucking vantage point with the same distance, and the oil rig's totally behind the fucking horizon.
Okay, so what are we saying then?
Because you can see so by the atmosphere, you can see by the color of the sky and everything. It's a different day with different weather conditions.
Okay, if that was the case, Busta, think about it like this. Yeah, I'm going to address your image now. Busta, I'm going to address your image now. So the image that you just posted, do you think that is a valid reason to say that refraction exists? That the last one that you just posted. Okay, so if that is
look, so mate, you can. I'll tell. No, let me finish real quick.
What else are you going to tell me?
You can tell that there's no refraction because the fucking crane.
There's no refraction, or there is refraction.
Well, it's not as pronounced as what it was in your black swan fucking photo. The reason why your black swan photo is fucking possible is because of intense fucking refraction, and that is proved.
All right, so we're talking about refraction.
Cranes.
All right, so you're talking about refraction, Busta.
Yeah,
we're talking about refraction, right? So if refraction,
the cranes are straight, therefore refraction.
There, are you got it all out because you've said it like 5 times. You got it out yet? So I can start.
You're not listening to me, mate. You just keep.
I am. You're talking about refraction being an issue, right? And this images that you're showing, it's representing.
I'm a little bit frustrated because I posted something you can't fucking explain.
Well, I'll tell you what, I can explain it.
Oh my God! Hang on a second. I just want to tell him something before we move on. If you're saying that it's refraction, right, and this is an issue right now, where in one image you see bendy cranes, on another image you see half the oil rig, right? Are we good there?
Yeah.
Okay. The next thing I wanted,
half the oil rig doesn't have bendy cranes.
All right.
It doesn't have the next fucking refraction.
So the next thing you got to ask yourself is how the fuck did they measure the Earth curvature? If there is a lot of difference in the ways that we see, how are you going to measure Earth's curvature? And who actually measured this Earth's curvature? You got to ask a couple of questions, right? How did they do it? How did they do it? And who? No, well, you have to realize, dude. If you don't ask yourself these questions, no, you are going into cognitive dissonance, right? Because you don't want to look at the information. Who's done it then?
Look at it, mate.
All right, then who's done it?
I've got a question measured? For you there, Bruce.
No, I'm not going to answer any questions. You need to ask her mine. Answer mine.
How long have you been?
Answer mine.
Researching
Busta, answer my question. I'm not going to answer yours. You got to answer mine. Mate. I'm not going to answer your question, Busta. You need to answer mine. So the next step to move forward is you answering my question, which is who has measured the curvature of the Earth?
We went over this earlier, mate.
I didn't. I wasn't here. I was not here.
Talking about Eratosthenes and shit originally.
Eratosthenes. So Eratosthenes first measured this. How did he do it? What did he do to measure the drop over distance that you need on a geometric shape?
He was measuring the shadows of the worlds.
Right. Is that drop over distance on an oblate spheroid?
You know what?
Realize
that like he was making assumptions 2,000 fucking years ago.
Well, we're not talking about him. Then if he didn't do it. Right, if he didn't do it,
a lot more accurate.
Busta,
but you know that he also wasn't ever spoken about till the 1900s.
I'm not worried about Eratosthenes.
Congratulations, they didn't find any of his fucking evidence until then.
Do you just you got diarrhea of the mouth, don't you? You don't want to shut up. I'm asking you a question. How did Eratosthenes? I'm trying to tell you something. You're not answering my question. How did Eratosthenes measure drop over distance? How do you measure drop over distance?
He measured the angles of the shadows in the wells.
Is that drop over distance?
No, it's
all right then. So we're not looking at drop over distance. So what I need to know on a geometric shape, who in history has measured drop over distance? Who's done that? Because we live on this geometric shape where drop over distance, like everybody's claiming now in this arena, everybody says there's drop over distance. If we're doing it incorrectly and saying it's not 8 inches per mile squared, and however they figured it out, who was the first person to figure out the correct method of drop over distance? Busta.
Oh.
Yes?
But you seem to know, so why don't you tell us?
No, I don't. I'm not going to feed you this. If you seem to be so hung up defending and advocating for the globe, I'm asking you.
No, I'm not, mate. I'm on the fucking fence and I don't fucking know.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You're advocating for the globe. You're lying to yourself saying that you're on the fence because you're actually strongly positioned for the globe. Because you, right now, if you were on the fence, all the information that we were presenting to you right now would have been like, damn, this is pretty challenging to my thought process. But it's not.
Well, do you want to?
You're dug in.
Why, mate? Nah, mate.
You're dug in.
Why?
You're dug into the globe.
You little smart ass. You know why?
You're dug in.
Because no, mate. Do you want to know why? Because everything you fucking shown me, I've seen before. You haven't shown me anything that's fucking like blowing my mind. New fucking info that I haven't seen before, parroted by another 1,000 fucking flat Earth people.
So you haven't understood.
What would be your gotcha that you want? What's going to convince you? Not that we're here to convince you, but what's this gotcha that you need to see?
I'll fucking know it when I see it. Know it when I see it, mate, because I'll tell you right now, it fucking hasn't happened since 2008.
You haven't even because you haven't thought about it in a way that's logically consistent with people that are going to be saying, is this a globe or not, bro?
Mayhem. I've got a question for you there, Bruss. How long have you been researching the flat Earth for, mate?
I told you 8 years. We've already talked about this.
Yeah, well, guess what, bro? I've been researching it since 2008. It's a bit fucking longer than 8 years.
And you still haven't got it yet?
You know what, mate? No.
The penny hasn't dropped yet?
The funny thing is, guess what, dickhead? I fucking got it so fucking long ago.
You did not.
Oh, I fucking did, mate.
If you would have got it, Busta, the logical reasoning that you have, the logical reasoning that you would have behind this would then be sufficient to be able to stand scrutiny. It does not stand scrutiny because when we tell you, how do you know the Earth's a globe, man? Tell us who measured drop over distance. You're like, you come up tits, bro. You're like, I don't know. Well, shit, don't you know?
Dickhead.
Yeah, nice. Nice one. So you're asking us for your claim. It's just not our claim, it's yours. And you don't have a baseline knowledge of how that ever came to be. So that's the issue. You don't have a sufficient knowledge.
Oh, fucking wow. I couldn't fucking remember his name at the fucking moment you asked me. It took me a while to fucking remember.
Can I ask you a question?
Fucking the hubris on you is incredible.
Hubris. Yeah, that's what you call
you are, dude. You are fucking full of hubris.
Nice. So you're worried about my hubris, and you haven't brought any evidence for the claim.
I'm just fucking pointing it out because it's fucking.
Well, then if you think it's hubris, then bring evidence for the claim. and stop dicking around and trying to waffle. Well, stop trying to waffle. Bring some evidence.
Flat Earth for 8 years, and
I'm busting you up. I'm busting you up, bro.
All I'm fucking done is study for 8 fucking years, mate. I've studied since 2008.
So what? I don't give it. So that means that I've learned something that you haven't, which is the Earth's not a globe.
It means that mate.
Buster, can I ask you one question?
I was a flat earther before you were probably even in high school. Cunt.
What a piece of shit.
You are not a flat earther, dude.
Honestly,
dude. I was originally a flat earther, and then I
got Aussies in this chat that are worth more of their salt and truth than you will ever be because you're dishonest. You're dishonest, bro. You are dishonest.
There's only one fucking
You were saying, first of all, dishonest. You said that you were on the fence. You're full of shit there because you're advocating for the globe like dug-in zealot. You're a religious zealot, bro. You just religiously.
You're the little cult leader in your little fucking flat earth
cult leader. I'm not the one who has a cognitive dissonance issue like you do.
Members in here, any little gold members in here, mate.
So what?
Fucking vet all the fucking people and shit.
You're just ignorant,
you're gonna
vulgar.
You're gonna vet people. You don't have the mental capacity to vet anybody, much less even hold an argument here.
Now.
I've been busting up anti-flat earth
limits, and now you
propagandists for a long time.
Love it.
Maggie, let me ask you this. Sorry, I want to ask
a question here because I've been going for a few hours now, but I wanted to ask if we're given a radius and we're actually given a size of this globe, and then we can go out and we can literally measure this thing for ourselves, and we can't find or no one can show who's actually measured this drop over distance, and we don't measure it or see it when we go out ourselves, then how is that not evidence to the Earth being flat? How is that a flat earther nitpicking or trying to have a gotcha moment when the whole conversation is about the shape of the Earth that we're standing on, and we're only basing what we're doing off of what we have been given? That just doesn't make sense logically to me.
I don't know what shape it is.
I just want to ask as well, like Miggy or anyone else. So,
like you guys.
No, hold on, Busta. So,
I think it's a pancake.
I have heard many times like that Busta is on the fence. Like, what evidence or how did he advocate for flat Earth in any way? If he's on the fence, he's just like, okay, this makes sense for like flat Earth, but this makes sense also for global Earth. So what evidence did you have, or what proofs, or what advocation did you have for flat Earth?
All of the things that you guys have shown me, all been debunked and all been refuted. So like I've been fucking reasonable. I don't know how many times I have to fucking say this.
You're not being reasonable, dude. You're being a fucking rude ignorant fuck, and I'm going to fucking call you out, Buster.
Oh, here comes another Aussie. Fucking right.
Dude, I don't have a fucking problem. I don't have a fucking problem whatsoever, dude. You want to fucking call me out? I'll fucking give you my address, dude. You're a fucking piece of shit if you're going to speak like this. Put your fucking head in and fucking learn some manners, mate. Yeah, you fucking wanker.
Buster, have you noticed that everybody's here? Buster, everybody's here has been very classy. They've been speaking to you with a lot of respect, and you've been spiraling a lot, bro. In just the
way I saw the way you guys treated that other dude that was on before me, man. You guys treated him like a fucking.
We're not worried about that guy. We're talking to you at the moment, and Jemsy's speaking directly to you.
He was very fucking nice to you guys.
Buster wants to defend everybody else but himself. He's got nothing to prove for himself. Buster, produce some evidence, mate, and you might get a little bit of respect. Otherwise, shut the fuck up, dude.
You know what?
How about
we know he doesn't have the evidence, right?
I've got something here that no one can fucking give me a clear answer on.
On what?
You brainiacs can fucking do it. How come? If you
you are full of it. You are full of it. So many guys here gave you many answers repeatedly going on and on, like explaining to you stuff, and now you claim no one have given you an answer. Like you are full of it.
I'm talking about now, mate. I'm talking about in general with all the fucking flat earthers I've ever debated. How come if you watch the sunset and then you fucking see it disappear over the horizon, then you fucking fly a drone straight up, the sun appears again, and you can fucking see it again. And then you can
so
watch
what you're saying, Buster, is you can see around curves. Is that what you're saying? You can see around curves. You're an absolute fool, dude. Wake the fuck up.
Yeah, if you go higher, you can see further. And
fuck up. An Aussie drongo cunt.
So obviously, you said that you've gone through all the flat Earth arguments, so you would obviously know the answer to this yourself already. What would you say it is?
Yeah,
from a flat Earth perspective.
It's pretty fucking obvious because the Earth isn't flat. Because if the Earth was flat,
well, where's the evidence of drop over distance? Where's the evidence? Yeah, who cares about what your anecdotal testimony? Who cares about your anecdote? I've seen the sun go around the curve. Present the evidence. Present the evidence that drop over distance exists. We don't need to look at more of your evidence. We need for you to present how drop over distance is measured on an oblate spheroid of the radius, diameter, and circumference measurements that they give us. They're telling us how big the Earth is, and I want you to present to us how they measured it. That's what I want you to do, Busta. That's the thing that you have to do to make this globe idea become a reality. Present the evidence that drop over distance has been measured, and by whom? Who's done it?
Why the globers always want to avoid the shape of the Earth that we're actually standing on and always want to observe things in the sky instead. Let's measure the drop over distance. It's not that big.
They just want to pick on fucking Flurf. That's their whole fucking mantra, man. It's fucking pull fucking Flurfs apart and fucking make themselves feel better. You're a fucking dreamer, dude. Get the fucking, wake the fuck up, fucking show some evidence or fucking piss off, man.
Yeah. Evidence, please.
Fucking piss off, you drunk.
Evidence, Busta. Where's the evidence of drop over distance?
I'm trying to fucking find it. Give me a fucking moment. Jesus fucking Christ.
Busta, you've been debating flat earthers and all that stuff, and you should know by now that the globe has been busted, right?
You used to be a flat earther, mate.
That's true, Jemsy. No, and we're giving you the opportunity.
Now I'm on the fence because I don't fucking know if it's a globe or whatever the fuck it is, but I know it ain't fucking flat. It's something else.
Nah, you don't know it's not flat because you haven't presented any evidence that there's curvature. If it's curving somewhere, then I'll give you what you just said.
I'm trying to fucking find it. Give me a fucking moment.
Yeah, I'll give you another moment. Look, like for me, it doesn't matter. We could sit here all day, but we're not going to be sitting here forever. You know, obviously, if you were ill-prepared to have this conversation, you can go back and rest in your laurels and come back refreshed and with a new take on this. So. It's up to you.
I think from what I hear, I think the issue he's having that he's trying to replace the globe, and he's saying flat Earth doesn't work, and he's saying
flat Earth doesn't fucking work. But but
that's the thing, though. I think you're kind of like creating a straw man in your mind, and you're burning it yourself. That's the problem.
That could be the case.
Definitely not creating no fucking straw man. There you go, mate. Tell me why that fucking works.
No, we're not going to tell you something that you think is happening. We want you to present evidence of drop over distance and who's done that.
Look, I posted
that is not evidence of drop over distance, is it, Busta?
No, I'm asking you then. To explain.
We're not going to tell. We're not going to tell you what your. We're not going to tell you what your supposed evidence is. You got to tell us how the evidence is to support the claim the Earth is curving. That's pretty simple. I'm not speaking another language. It's English and you understand it, don't you? Well, present the evidence of drop over distance. How did they measure it?
You don't have it, Busta, do you? Let's ask him more directly. Do you have the evidence, Busta? Yes or no? You don't have it, right? Just let's be honest.
Used a ramp. Galileo used a ramp to study rolling balls, showing the acceleration enough to measure the time taken for the ball to roll, known distance.
I didn't hear the first part. Did you say Galileo?
Yeah.
What did he do again?
You asked me who was the first person to measure drop over distance, and I said it was Galileo.
Okay, go ahead and give us the information on how
he used a ramp to study rolling balls, slowing the acceleration enough to measure the time taken for the ball to roll a known distance. He measured elapsed time with a water clock using an extremely accurate balance to measure the amount of water.
Now show where this has been measured on the globe, drop over distance on the globe, not on the ramp.
I'm just telling you, Galileo.
Rolling balls? rolling balls off a ramp with water, therefore Earth curvature drop over distance.
I think he's saying that the ball is dropping over the distance, and I think he doesn't comprehend that what we're talking about is an actual geometrical drop over distance that is supposedly happening.
Now this is a new one on me, Jemsy. Nobody's ever used
it is a new one, but I think he's confused, bro.
Yeah, I know. I know he is. I don't think he's confused. I know he's confused. Yeah. Which that's what happens when you're dug in and you're, okay. Equations for a falling body. What? Okay, let me go through his citation real quick, guys. Hang on. Yeah, Buster. Can I just tell him what you presented? Let me go through here.
What he just posted. Fucking tricks.
Sophist, you're the freaking sophist, man. If anybody's in here a sophist, you are. All right, so a set of equations. All right, settle down, Buster. A set of equations describing the trajectories of. I'm getting some feedback. A set of equations describing the trajectories of objects subject to a consequent gravitational force under normal earthbound conditions, assuming constant acceleration g due to Earth's gravity. Newton's law of universal gravitation simplifies F equals mg. You guys know that. Whereas F is the force exerted on a mass by the Earth's gravitational field. So is this drop over distance measurement verification, or is this some kind of idea that we're talking about derivative topic of like what the Earth is due to the fact that it's a ball and now we have gravitational forces acting on that ball? And this isn't drop over distance evidence, Busta.
Never said it was a ball. I don't know what it is. I told you I have no idea what shape
this here,
but I know what
this here is where. You keep saying that, but you still haven't produced the drop over distance measurements. And who's done it? You went to Galileo. Wrong. It ain't Galileo. So you can try again. Okay, I'll give you a mulligan. You can try again. Present the evidence of drop over distance and who's actually measured the Earth curvature with drop over distance. And then you can pick anybody in history. We'll examine them and present your case on the live stream voice text. I'll give you the.
If I do that, will you explain to me that fucking drone video that I posted?
We can talk about it for sure. We definitely can talk about it. But your evidence has to be sufficient per what we're actually looking for. If you're standing on a geometric shape, there's going to be drop over distance, right? An oblate spheroid would have drop over distance. So the sphere from point A to point B would have a drop over distance. So you can do that like on a basketball. Any point that you have in there would be point A. Any point away from that would be point B, and it would be a distance of an arc. So the distance of an arc, drop over distance, was what we need to verify the Earth is a globe, or not.
Are you talking about the Earth curving away from the horizontal line by 1/8 of an inch for every 100 feet of horizontal distance? Is that what you're talking about?
However you can present
miles square.
Yeah, I would say it that way, Big Pond, but he denies that. So we're not going to go there. We're going to say it this way.
Want to know the equation as well?
I don't want to know the equation. I want to know how it was derived, how we know drop over distance measured was done. So if you say that 8 inches per mile square is incorrect, it's irrelevant to the point that I'm making right now. What I want to know is how the correct method on how it was done is shown to us, so we know that we're standing on a geometric shape like an oblate spheroid. I'm pretty clear on this already.
You want to know how the equation was derived? Is that right?
No. I want to know how somebody went out into the field and actually measured what they're purporting the equation is. So the correct one, the one that you're talking about, how did they go out into the field and know that it was such?
A testable, measurable, repeatable evidence.
Yep, correct. Testable, measurable, repeatable. Go ahead. If you will, Busta, please present that. Otherwise, we can't talk about your drone image.
Conditions.
No. This ain't conditions. This is you standing on the verifiable claim that you're going to make.
Conditions that have to be met before fucking answers can be given.
The only condition is the claim that it's a globe or a sphere.
I'm not fucking claiming it's a globe, you fucking Aussie drongo.
Sphere.
I'm not claiming it's a fucking globe. I told you I don't know what the fuck it is.
It's funny that you say, like, it's one big pond. It's funny that he says he's not claiming that it's a globe, but he's giving us mathematical constructs that it is an oblate spheroid. That's weird, right?
Because you guys, what's weird
That's weird.
You
get comical.
Yeah, he's pretty comical. He's like, I'm going to talk about how the Earth is, I don't know what the Earth is, but I'm going to present the Earth being a globe with my mathematical formula to debunk what we're saying. He's debunking us, but then supporting the globe, and then saying in chat, I'm not supporting a globe. I'm on the fence.
What I like to know, man, is we just hit the winter solstice and the summer solstice. There's winter solstice in Australia, summer solstice in America. What I'd really like to know is how the hell we get that tilt. Sorry,
yeah,
Busta,
we gotta keep him on this point at the moment, Busta. Okay. One big pun. So one big pun. We're not gonna move from this point because it's to him the most difficult one. And so letting him swing off to another point, it's just going to get him
too many questions. Fair point there, mate. I'm like, shut up.
You'll overload his brain, dude. It's too complex as it is for him to. I'm going to unmute him. Yep. Busta, just give us the evidence
answer for you, mate.
Yeah,
the answer you're fucking craving.
Let's go.
There have been several experiments throughout history to measure the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah.
One of the
drop over distance, right? We're not talking about we're talking about drop over distance. Okay, go ahead.
I think this is it, but maybe you know what? I guarantee that if I say this, you'll fucking say it's wrong. So, but I'll say it anyway. There have been several experiments throughout history to measure the curvature of the Earth. One of the most famous experiments is the Bedford level experiment, which is a series of observations carried out along a 6-mile or 9.7 kilometre length of the old Bedford River on the Bedford level of the Cambridgeshire Fens in the United Kingdom. In the 19th and 20th centuries, to measure the curvature of the Earth, Samuel Burley Rowbotham, who conducted the first observations starting in 1838, claimed that he had proven the Earth to be flat. However, in 1870, after adjusting Rowbotham's method to avoid the effects of atmospheric refraction, Alfred Russel Wallace found a curvature consistent with the spherical Earth.
Okay, so the guy who said it was a curved Earth, right? Rowbotham was saying that the Earth is flat. The other character is saying that it's a globe. So let's dive in. Let's dig in a little bit because you're presenting this, and I want to give you a fair shake at this. What did the other guy present that we know it's a globe? Because he's going against Samuel Rowbotham. So you could probably click into the wiki and find out who that guy is and what did he present. So we'll talk about that. Because he went against Samuel Rowbotham, and this is what you're bringing up now. So I want to thoroughly go through this. All right, so
of course,
let's figure out what he's done. The other guy, not Samuel Rowbotham.
Not Samuel Rowbotham. The other
no. The other fellow Wallace. Who's okay. Russell Wallace. Let's find out what he done. We want to figure out drop over distance, and if he's presenting drop over distance, we can examine that.
So in 1870, because that's when he challenged Rowbotham, right?
Mm-hmm.
He confirmed the existence of Earth curvature in the Bedford level experiment. Did the experiment on the Bedford Canal. He fixed a black band on the old Bedford Bridge and observed it with a telescope from the Welney Bridge 6 miles away. Right in the middle, he placed a pole with 2 discs on it. Telescope, the top disc, and the black band were at the same height above the water. The telescope, both discs were seen above the black band, proving the existence of Earth's curvature.
May I make a point?
Okay, so
cut and paste into the chat so you guys can read that, not just listen to my janky Aussie voice.
Oh, you've got a beautiful voice there, dude. All I'm trying to say, or my point that I may be able to make is they tell us that you cannot see the curve from the ground. You need to be in space to see it. But people like yourself like to push the model that you can see it from the ground. So it's quite comical.
Mate, you can't really see it from the ground, but you can measure it like this guy did. And when you measure it, you fucking can.
All right, so you're saying that Earth curve can be measured, right? Drop over distance.
Well, according to these experiments by Alfred Russel Wallace, yeah, mate.
So you don't have
would you agree? Hang on, one big pun. One second. So would you agree that Russell Wallace, he's the guy that actually found out that the Earth is curving at the drop over distance rate?
Well, he's the one that proved the Bedford level experiment.
We're not talking about once again. Once again, Busta, if you're going to present some guy who did something that just said, I looked upon the Earth and I say it's a globe, therefore it's a globe. I don't want that. I want the guy who's teaching us a method in which we can understand the Earth is curving at the set rate that it is with drop over distance.
Okay, so
all right, so Russell Wallace. So Russell Wallace. All right, so Russell Wallace. He's the guy, right?
He fixed a black band on the old Bedford Bridge and observed it with a telescope from the Welney Bridge 6 miles away, right in the middle.
What's the drop over distance measurement done that Russell Wallace done? On it. What's the drop? I need some numbers now. Let's put some math to it because you're not just going to get away with like, oh, Russell Wallace put some sticks in the water and now he says Earth's a globe. Congratulations, right?
Now let's figure out the distance for this experiment.
That's exactly what I want to know. How did Russell Wallace figure this out? What is the method he done to give us a drop over distance on the oblate spheroid that he thinks he lives on? So we're going to figure out what method he took upon himself.
I think you're gaslighting me, mate.
No. I'm not gaslighting you. I want you to point to someone in history that's going to teach us how we can measure this.
Nobody, neither me or him said it was an oblique spheroid. So yes, you are gaslighting.
That is the claim. That is the claim, is it not?
No, you're fucking twisting words around or making words up that no one.
What's the claim?
I never said it was a fucking spheroid. And fucking Russell.
Now, what's the claim?
Show me evidence where Russell Wallace said it was an oblique spheroid, and then also show me.
What is it then? What is it then?
Said that.
Is this a piece of language barrier?
Seems like his best mates with his Volta guy.
I think it is.
Yeah, nice one.
But what we're figuring out here is that you're very ignorant on all of the points that the claim is being made, right? You don't know the claim. You're thinking I'm making words up, bro. Like this isn't me telling you. It's actually the claim that the Earth is an oblate spheroid. I didn't make that up. That is what they're saying it is. Can you understand, my friend? What I'm saying in the argumentation right now is that they are making the claim. I'm just telling you what they are saying. Now, don't turn this around and say, well, you're making words up. I'm not. Look it up. You don't believe me? Look it up.
Believe me, dude, I'm going to laugh at you every chance I get, man, because you sound foolish.
I'm fucking sure you will, mate.
The more you present, the more you look like a fool. So keep going, dude.
Good on you, mate. Go for it, eh?
All right. So now we're going to drill down into your information. I'll give you this, right? If you want to use this as an out, you can say maybe he didn't produce the drop over distance measurement, so that we need to examine the method. If he didn't do it, I'll give you an out. You can find someone else who does. So if you want the out, if not, we'll drill down more into Russell Wallace. We'll start to figure out.
He proved well the Samuel Robot. Look, you guys always love to fucking the flat earthers always love to talk about the Bedford level experiment, right?
Well, I'm not doing that. You're the one that brought it up.
No, but many do.
Yeah, but we don't care about many. We care about what you and I are discussing in this context of drop over distance. So if you say that Russell Wallace isn't the guy, let's find out who is. Because we need to know the method by which this oblate spheroid, I'll say it again, a word that I didn't make up, that it's actually the claim, how it's being discovered that it is with drop over distance. So if Russell Wallace isn't the guy, you want to look for someone else. Perhaps someone else did.
I think he was that Bedford level experiment, from what I can gather, the drop over distance was calculated based on the Earth's curvature.
Right. But what did he?
You guys don't believe exists.
Okay, what did he do to figure that out? Or was it already? Did it already exist when he used his math? Because it sounds like
I can tell you the math of the drop over.
I know you can. I know you can, Buster. So can every other Glober. I don't care to know how the math is said to be what it is. I want to know how they got that math. What did they do to go test that math to make sure that it is?
Notice you do realize that I haven't once called you guys flirfs, but you've called.
All right, then. Thank you for being humble.
Hey, Malin, Honestly,
like, I don't care if you do, but I'm just saying. I'm
happy with the name Firth, dude. And as long as you're happy with the word.
Well, most aren't.
All you're doing is presenting globe evidence, dude, and you claim that you're not a glober. Well, what the fucking hell are you on, man? What drugs you on? Please share them.
I already really comfy fence.
I don't do drugs, mate.
Yeah, listen.
It must be a comfy fence, dude. You got like a recliner on there.
Yeah,
let's get away. Let's get away from the. Let's get away from this
like
rabbit
the Great
trail.
Wall of China.
Thank you, Busta, for that.
Imagine the Great Wall of China.
Yeah, we're imagining the Great Wall of China. Yada yada. You're great. Okay, so now let's get back to the argument. The argument is that
I'm anything but great, mate.
Yes,
because
we understand.
You, I don't have hubris.
Okay, dude, this isn't a therapy session.
Stop presenting the globe evidence.
I like to keep projecting all these kind of like, therapy.
All right, then, dude. What are we going to be talking about? Feelings or evidence? What do you want to do? Talk about more
drone video, because you've asked me.
We're
all
not
these
talking about the drone video until you produce the drop over distance information. So Russell Wallace, once again,
the Earth. Well, I've gone over that, right? Because the drop over distance was calculated based on the Earth's curvature. You guys won't accept that.
No. Calculations are just assumptions. We want to know how it was derived that they got these numbers. Where did these numbers come from? Did they just assume the Earth's a specific geometric shape and then say, what I'm going to assume is a specific geometric shape, therefore it is? No, we're not going to do that, Busta.
The experiment
we want to know how.
The experiment found that the curvature was consistent with the spherical Earth.
It's consistent with an assumption?
No, it doesn't say anything about assumption, just says consistent.
Well, because once again, if they're using a calculation, then I need to know how they derive that information. Where did those numbers come from? They have to at least test it, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you again. It's going to be a bit complicated because it's fucking all these R and cos fucking things. Told you I'm shit house at math, and you guys can fucking have a laugh and fucking ridicule me about that if you want, whatever. It's just a fucking fact. The Earth curves away from a horizontal line by 1/8 of an inch for every 100 feet.
Cool story. That's a very cool story. Thank you for that. A round of applause for your cool story. I need to know how it was derived, sir.
Frustrated there, Russ?
No, I want you to tell me how it was derived, not how you're telling me once again that it's claimed to be. I don't care for that. Who cares, right? Yeah, this Glober Russell Wallace said that it was whatever. He put sticks in the water, yada, yada, yada. I need to know how he made that information from drop over distance from his location where he was standing to where he saw that thing on the bridge. I need to know the drop over distance method to know that the Earth is curving at the set rate that they tell us.
Sticks and shadows.
Well, I need Busta to tell me.
It's great when you break down experiments into the basic fucking simplistic fucking things like that. Then it does sound a bit ridiculous, doesn't it?
Yeah. Drop over distance, dude. You got it or not? You're wasting my
calculation for the drop over distance is derived from the geometry of a circle.
Great.
That's
wonderful. We're using geometric shapes, right? Basic shapes like a sphere. Yeah, great. Nice. How do they know we're standing on one? How did they measure it? I'm going to stress the word so that you can understand. I want that.
You want to know how they measured it back then?
Yes.
Or you want to know how they measure it now?
Yes. No, it doesn't. At any time in history. Talk about any time in history. That's what
I'd like some current information if you don't mind.
A dentist has an easier time pulling teeth. Yeah.
I'll fucking laugh at that. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it is, because it seems like for you, it's the most difficult thing on earth is to get you to tell me who has measured drop over distance. My God, sir.
I told you it was Galileo.
Okay. What was the method that he derived drop over distance on this earth that he's standing on?
I told you how he did it, but you guys all laughed at me and thought it was fucking ridiculous.
How do you do it? Rolling a ball on a ramp and pouring water on.
Yeah,
dude, seriously, you got to be joking right now.
You go on YouTube and fucking.
Did he go into the field? Did he go into the field and measure this?
Is he a glober or not? Like, honestly, dude, you're fighting like you're a glober, but you're claiming that you're not. Like, what fantasy are you living in?
I don't fucking know what shape the Earth is, mate, but I know it ain't fucking flat.
Oh, you don't know what the shape the Earth is, but you're advocating for the position that it's a globe.
No, I'm not, but I'm fucking...
You're not.
I posted that fucking drone video of the sunset, and none of you cunts have touched it.
Why? It's not a drone, but why do you keep distance? Like, God, come on, guys.
Fucking drone video.
I have to mute you for this because it's hard to talk through you. All right, so when you are saying that you're not advocating for the Earth as a globe, and yet everything that you post in so far that I've been in this chat is everything to support a globe. Everything. From the math formulas, from the Samuel Robotham thing that you just posted right now, everything the guy who's speaking against Samuel is saying the Earth's a globe. The calculations that you produced is of a Earth being a globe. Everything is globe, 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 globe. And then you say, I'm on the fence. You're not on the fence. You're a dug-in zealot for the globe. Welcome to reality. That is what you are, Busta. You are dug in for the globe. So we're just the only thing. I don't care about that, right? I really don't. That's just weird. That's a fact now that you've been in this conversation. The only thing that we're gonna do is try to get you to answer honestly. If you have the information for drop over distance on the geometric shape that we're standing on, and if you do, please state it in live stream voice text. If you don't, then we're gonna go away from this conversation because you don't know. So it's your admitted say you know or you don't know. But if you keep saying you know, I just unmuted you. If you keep saying you know, we're gonna, dig into the information. We want to give you a fair shake. I don't want you to keep saying that you're not a glober when you clearly are. Like, let's just do away with that. You're not on the fence. Forget that. That ship has sailed a long time ago.
There's
only two fucking things, mate. It's either flat or it's something else, right? And the only other something else that everybody fucking has access to that's been measured is the fucking globe.
It's not been measured. We're clearly showing you it's not been
tell us your fucking flat Earth fucking... All right, let's flip the fucking script.
We're not going to fall for your little burden of
let's hear your flat Earth measurements then, because you guys have been fucking pounding me.
The claim is with the globe, Buster, not with the flat Earth, mate. The flat Earth is obvious. So the claim is with the globe, dude.
Yeah, so I went ahead and muted him because he doesn't know how to control himself. So the reason why is because he committed a begging the question fallacy. It's already a globe in his mind, and he hasn't provided the evidence. He said the drop over distance somewhere. I don't know where, but it is a globe. So now he's advocating once again for the position of the Earth as a globe, and all I want him to do right now is to show us drop over distance. So one big punch. Let him answer drop over distance. So I'm going to see if he's able to do that. Russell Wallace, once again.
I want you guys to show me the fucking proof that the Earth's flat. And I want you to show me the math.
We are going to go to his burden. I'm going to chime in here, right? That's a burden of proof reversal fallacy. When you don't have the answer for the question that's directly being asked to you, you're going to shift the burden off to the person who's asking the question to then make it sound like the person who's asking you the question needs to provide the evidence, when in fact the direct question that was being asked was to the person who is diverting the conversation. This is what he is trying to do right now. He's using debate tactics, and it doesn't work in this arena. So he has to produce the evidence, or he's going to sit in silence. Either one. But we're not going to shift over, and no Glober conversation is going to happen until he produces that information, and we are going to want him to answer that. So once again, Busta, back to you. Drop over distance.
You're going to unmute me now, you coward, are you?
Yeah, but we're not going to let you shift the burden of proof because you want to.
Oh,
understand that.
You guys, but you are cowards because you mute people.
We want you to produce the evidence. Produce the evidence.
If you were in my fucking group in my room, I wouldn't mute you.
Produce the evidence.
I'm not a coward.
Produce the evidence.
I've already fucking done that, but you won't accept any of it. So now I want to fucking hear you.
No, you didn't produce the evidence at all. You're giving us your baseless claims that don't give us any information on drop.
I know why you look. I know your fucking games, mate, and I know why you keep fucking hounding.
Drop over distance.
No. Listen to me.
No, we're not going to listen.
I know why.
We're really not going to listen to you. We're really not. We want to know the evidence For every Glober who's listening to you right now, that you're the every minute that goes by that you're not producing it, they're wondering why. Why isn't Busta producing drop over distance?
Exactly.
And the only reason why I muted you because you're not going to control this argument because you think you want to shift the burden of proof. Not going to do that. We want you to present the evidence. Really simple. So I'm going to mute Busta.
Yeah, Busta's not unbusting any moves at the moment, so let's give him another go.
Shit, but I'll fucking bust some moves out of your fucking face, cunt.
Yeah, I know, man. You're so tough over the internet, but I'm more than happy to share. I'm in Moorfield in Queensland. Are you anywhere near me? Because I'll happily move that with you, dude.
Fucking be there.
No, we're not going to get it, fellas. Let's not.
His threats are fucking. His threats are as evident as his proof. So he's got nothing, guys.
Yeah, we're not going to go.
Please, I've heard that many threats in my life. I can tell a piece of shit when I hear one, and this is exactly another piece of shit.
Let's not go to fisticuffs, right? Let's not go to fisticuffs. Like, doesn't need to go there. What he's got to do though is present the evidence or just sit in silence. But we're not going to go to fisticuffs. We don't need to, I'm bigger and badder and I want to beat you up. That kind of stuff.
I'm not trying to fight anyone, but yeah, if he's going to talk shit, and he's probably going to run away. So let's
him. I'm only talking shit because you're shit, cunt.
We'll let him present the evidence. If he doesn't present it, just mute yourself, Busta, if you don't have it. Because that's what we need right now.
What evidence do you want again? Because you keep hounding on it.
Drop over distance. Drop over distance. Please present that. And the method by which it was done. The method by which it was done. Pretty simple.
Like I said, you won't accept it because you don't believe the Earth is a fucking globe.
All I'm caring about right now is for you to produce the evidence. That's it. I don't care about feelings. Don't care.
He doesn't think it's a globe, but he pushes the globe model. Okay, good on you, man.
There's only two fucking options right now, dickhead. It's either fucking flat or it's globe.
We've got plasma moon and we've got convex Earth, or we've got cell Earth, or however you want to say it, LSC. So there is quite a few options out there, Buster. So if you'd like to refrain from your informalities there, I'd love to hear. I'd love to hear what you got to say, dude.
All right, so here's the challenge, right? The challenge is I'm going to keep you muted. When you have the evidence, type in live stream voice text. I have the evidence. I'll unmute you. You present the evidence, and we're good. Other than that, I'll have to keep you muted because you don't know how to locally mute yourself, which would have been the better way that you can control your own mic. But I have to control it for you because you don't know how to stay in silence mode until you find your evidence. When you do, type it in live stream voice text. I'll unmute you and you can present it. That's all. Pretty easy.
We've been on this drop over distance for hours. It all began hours ago with the surveying when this all started. And he admitted the important points of measuring angles.
Yeah. So drop over distance is what we need right now. And the method by which it was done to know that the Earth is exactly what they tell us it is, an oblate spheroid. You need to produce that. It's not that we're being cowards. It's that you're just wanting to say your feelings into the chat. We don't care about that. Your projections or whatever. We want you to produce evidence. That's it. It's not that we were winning by keeping you muted. Don't just produce the evidence, dude. Otherwise, we're done here. You can sit in silence. You don't have to be in cognitus or anything. You just sit here in silence. Listen to us destroy the globe with other people.
A listening role, I think, is quite appropriate at this point in time.
Nah, he could sit there in silence. We have him muted. There's no way he can come back from that unless we unmute him. But like I said, this is the thing that always gets them to where they can't answer. There isn't a glober that can answer. And just so long as you understand, if you guys are here, and the reason why I was kind of going through it a bit more calmly than I do other people, I want you to see the depth of how far they will go not to answer this question. They will try to use different type of fallacious reasonings like burden of proof reversal. And if you indulge them, you can get caught up in that. So you guys can be like, okay, let's go to this other topic. And you're like, wait a minute, he didn't even answer this one. Why would we go to another topic if this is the fundamental premise for the Earth being a globe? Right now he's just a little bit confused and he doesn't know how to respond because he's been believing that the Earth is a globe this whole time. Hey, we got Baba Yaga in the chat. I'm going to mute Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga, I've just unmuted you. I have control of your mic. Are you there? Baba Yaga, are you there? Okay, we have God01 also a part of our chat at the moment. God01, are you there?
I did not. Where is it? Where do I find it?
Oh, dude, yes, full circle. Let Bambi ask that question again.
Yeah, I'll put it in live stream voice 6.
Thank you.
It's Rumble though, so you might, I don't know if you have a Rumble account, but
I don't, but I can make one. What the fuck's Rumble? I've never even heard of that.
Bro, it's the best thing. It's better than YouTube, freaking YouTube algorithm. It's like a truther platform. Like, it's really up and coming, I think, gaining some steam. I'm kind of using it as a way to like not have my channel taken down from like YouTube and that.
Yeah, it's fair.
I'll unmute him if you want, so you can ask him some questions. Like, he couldn't move off the point of drop over distance with me, so if you want to take a swing at Busta.
I just want to know if he's got the whole answer to the stars being proof of gas pressure without a container. Because his way was just, look at it, I think. I think he realised that, so he said he needs to take a minute to think.
He's unmuted, Bambi. You want to ask him?
Hello again. Buster?
Oh.
Hello. You having fun in here?
Bambi, the Scottish lass.
So do you have an answer from earlier?
Try not to swear.
What was your question?
It wasn't a question, it was a claim you made, and then I quizzed you on it to explain it, and you said you wanted time to think. It was, you said the stars being gas pressure without a container was a thing that was proof. And then I asked you to prove it and quit a question you on it and just wanted you to explain it, and you couldn't. You said you needed time.
What's the question again? How are stars proof of gas pressure?
It was a claim you made. Yeah, so I had asked you about gas pressure without a container, and then you said stars. And then I said, how so? Like, how, go into detail about it. And you said, well, you couldn't, and you needed time to think.
Yeah, but then I got blasted with a million other fucking things I had to try and answer, and there we are.
No, it's just
so
one.
Yeah, go on. Did you not think about it then?
Yeah, I thought about it, but you guys don't want to know or hear about it because it involves these, magical planets and things and gas giants.
No, I want to hear about it. That's why I'm asking you. I'm asking you about it because I want to hear about it. You guys is addressing all of us. I'm one person, so I want to hear about it.
So you're willing to hear about gas giants?
Sorry, you cut out the end. Hear about what?
Okay. So you want to know how we can prove that a star is made of gas?
Well, it was whatever claim that you had made. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I was talking about gas pressure without a container, and then you pointed at the stars.
I was using stars as an example.
Okay.
Because, like, it's a way that you can tell. Like, it's an example of gas existing outside of a container.
And how so?
Well, because they're stars are made of gas.
And how do we tell they're made of gas?
I'm trying not to laugh.
Through the study of their spectra.
And can you go into that? Like, explain it a little bit for anyone else listening?
A star's spectrum is the pattern of light it emits, right?
So we're observing the light?
So you can a star's spectrum is a pattern of light that it emits, can be analysed to determine the star's chemical composition.
Okay, so pick one. Pick a star.
So when light from a star passes through a prism or diffraction grating, then separated into its component colors, right, creating a spectrum. All right, you following me with this? Does this make sense?
Yep, I'm hearing you.
All right. So each element has a unique spectral signature, meaning that it absorbs or emits light at specific wavelengths. Right? Are you getting this? Yeah?
Yep. Yeah.
Analyzing a star's spectrum, astronomers can determine which elements are present in the star's atmosphere.
So just for my clarification, I don't mean to interrupt there, Bambi, but we have 7 different colours every morning. Like each sunrise, each sunset, we have 7 different colours. So are we 7 different planets in the solar system, in this Earth structure that we create, or is it just a fantasy that we're meant to believe?
It's a straw man response about fucking rainbows.
Problem that you're having, what he's talking about, the noble gases and the colors that they emit when, let's say, electricity is applied to them, like we can see colors from the gases.
I'm talking about the light.
So yeah, we have the 7 noble gases, and they can emit color by applying electricity to them, right? And we can see that demonstrations. We can see this here on the floor. But then you're extrapolating, and you're saying that Earth is globe, and you're claiming the distances, the sizes, and
I'm not.
And the medium.
I never said any of that,
bro. I'm in the middle of my sentence. So you're making a bunch of claims on top of saying that gases emit colors, and we can demonstrate that. And you're saying, the distances, the medium that they're in above in the sky, or the heavens above, or whatever. You're saying you have knowledge and you know what's happening up there, even though you can't go there. You're making a bunch of claims of things you cannot demonstrate or verify. You don't
have to go there to measure it, mate. You can measure the fucking spectrum.
Yes, we can see the colors of the gas
through the patterns of light. Yeah.
You can see the colors of the gases down here. Yes, nobody's saying no about that. You can
do the same thing with the star.
I think we should let Bambi handle it.
But you cannot.
We should let Bambi handle it. She's been waiting all afternoon for this question.
Yeah,
no, you're good. I don't mind other people weighing in, but it's just I kind of wanted him to finish what he was saying.
Yeah,
I didn't get a chance to finish, by the way. Go on.
That's all right. I'm sticking up for you, man. You let him finish what he's saying.
All right, whatever.
By analysing the star's spectrum, astronomers can determine the elements. Are you going to speaking over me, or am I going to chat? I won't talk for very long, I promise. 10 seconds, maybe.
Bullshit.
It's all right, on you go. Just ignore it. Just go.
Like fucking children.
It's all right. Just let him finish. Because if we tease him around too much, he's not easy to pick up.
But that's one way, right? So one way you can prove that stars are made of gas is by analysing their spectra. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Have
There's
we
another
understood
way?
that? Yes. There's another way.
Go on to that one.
Another way that you can prove stars are made of gas is through the study of their energy production. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Stars shine by burning hydrogen into helium in their cores. And later in their lives, get heavier elements. This process, known as nuclear fusion, releases a tremendous amount of energy in the form of light and heat. The fact that stars produce energy through nuclear fusion is strong evidence that they are made of gas.
So they're not a solid object.
So, what are you saying that the stars?
As far as I know, the sun is a thermonuclear reaction of gas and plasma. Now, that is what I was taught my whole life. When I look up at the fucking sky, or when I stand in the sun, I get fucking burned like a motherfucker, especially in Australia. You don't get that in Scotland. but in Australia, it gets so fucking hot, sun can cook an egg on the fucking ground, right? Now, and you can get, like, we got the highest incident of skin cancer in the world, us in New Zealand. So that's coming, that radiation is coming from something, well, not something, we know that it's coming from the sun. You guys can debate about what that fucking thing is.
Yeah, I mean, it's emanating heat. I'm not talking about that. I want to...
Under the dome, whatever, right?
Yeah. But we'll go back to the stars as well.
It's obviously some sort of thermonuclear reaction that's creating.
So that's obvious. Yeah, we can all agree on that. Nobody's denying that. Nobody's saying no to you. But can we go back to the stars? Are you saying that they are just made up of just gas that's floating there, or are they a solid? Like, how can we tell anything about it by just looking at a shiny little light and saying, well, there's colours?
Ball of gas and plasma.
Okay, but how can we tell anything, prove anything, do anything other than just pointing at a shiny thing in the sky and says, "Look, that's proof. That is there. Look at it."
I've just gave you 2 ways that you can measure that and prove it. You're obviously just refusing to accept that.
We've got southern and northern lights that emit the same light.
2 answers. Why don't you give your answer or your version of how it's done?
Well, just to be clear, all you did was just restate the claim. Bambi's asking you for evidence, perhaps a demonstration. You're just telling us the story all over again, as if we've never heard it.
I gave answers of how they can study it and work out that it's gas.
Yeah, we heard you, but all you were able to do was restate the claim. For one's very familiar with the claims. Stars
all you're
are
doing
gas.
is just what you're
demonstrate
saying they are. How can you demonstrate it? How can I go and do it? How can I prove what you've just said is to be true? How do we measure
Besides
the
just
colours, the lights? How do we do anything of what you've just said? Because saying the words we can measure.
Let me tell it to you again, right? Light from a star.
No, sorry, no need. We don't need the explanation at this point. You could maybe provide a demonstration, something that could show what you're saying. That whole show and tell in kindergarten, you're just doing the telling part. So now's the time to show it.
I like it how you compare it to kindergarten. That's really fucking nice.
Yeah. Well, notice how you're only doing the telling part. So
tell me what. Hold on, wait. Let's change the wording up a little bit. Change the wording. How can I? What do I need to do to prove what you've just said? What do I need to do to figure out that these stars are in a vacuum to start with and are gas pressure?
Based on what? Based on what I said, it sounds to me like you need a prism. You need the light from the star to pass through a prism or diffraction grating. Then gets separated by the prism, right, into its component colors, each creating a spectrum, right? So that you've seen light go through a fucking prism before, right? And you can see that it creates a spectrum, right? In a rainbow, that's essentially what a rainbow is. Would we agree upon that? Would we agree that a rainbow is like essentially, passing through a prism in a way, like because of the sunlight and the water vapor?
This isn't verifying what stars are, bro. Sorry. The claims that they're gas.
Let me finish. Right. So it's separate. Once you separate, get the fucking rainbows, okay? Light from a star passes through a prism or diffraction grating. It's separated into its component colors, creating a spectrum. Each element has a unique spectral signature, meaning that it absorbs or emits light at specific wavelengths.
That doesn't verify what a star is.
By analyzing the star's spectrum.
Where's the prism?
You also don't know what a star is to begin with.
So it would be evidence if you're begging the question of the globe and this star being 1 million miles away in outer space and burning in a vacuum, showing your gas pressure without containment, however, you're just basing the location of these stars off assumption.
It's always the same two things for you guys. It's always the gas can't exist outside of a container.
Yeah.
And
it's the fact that you have a lack of demonstration
in calculation.
Yeah, it's always the facts. We always go back to the facts, and you just don't seem to like the facts.
And you said that the starlight goes through a prism. Where's the fucking prism? Where is it at? Where's this prism that you're trying to actually put light going through?
Always go for those two fucking little things. You cherry pick.
Where is the prism? Though it's your example. You said that the light goes through a prism and creates a rainbow.
You want me
cool
to
story.
fucking show?
Where's the prism in the sky? Where's the prism that the light of the star is going through? Where is the prism?
Let me get this straight.
What are you trying to get straight?
Answer the question.
Where's the prism?
What you want to see? You want to see a video of that experiment, don't you?
No. I want to know where the prism is because the analogous to your point, light going through a prism creates a rainbow, right? So where's the prism in the sky that you're using in this example that you're seeing the star through?
There's no prism you don't need a prism in the sky. What are you talking about?
This is your analogy. That was your analogy.
Fucking isn't. You're gaslighting.
Why did you
rainbows? No.
Rainbows. The point about the prism was that if you wanted to create an experiment to demonstrate how it works, you could use a prism to recreate it. He never said there was a prism.
Well, why did he use the analogous point then?
No, he just explained that you could demonstrate the same principle using a prism. He didn't say that's what's there in reality.
Why are we seeing different colors then from a star?
I'm just addressing the point about the prism. I think that was misunderstanding.
Take it over. Take the point over, Cameron, if you want to chime in for Busta's on his behalf. Take the point over exactly where he left off.
I was just clarifying. I think there was a misunderstanding about the prism.
No, there isn't. There was no misunderstanding. The method of what his analogy was applying itself to was very clear. And so
he was asked the question, how can you prove this? And he said, well, you could take a prism, for example, and look through it.
And what does the prism do? What does the prism do, Cameron? What does the prism
again, I'm not arguing his point. I'm just clarifying that there may have been
why did you chime in? Why did you chime in if you're not arguing?
You misunderstood what he was saying. You thought he was claiming there was a prism in the sky.
Once again, he said that because we see light through a prism, using the analogy.
I think Bambi asked him the question.
Sorry,
That's
buddy.
exactly
if you can't
heard him.
carry the point forward.
I feel like everybody heard him, Cameron. Like your position is moot because you're not following what his example was. So he was demonstrating to Bambi that light through a prism, like the one we see from a star, is changing colors. Like he was using the example of the rainbow colors. We know where he was going with that. So my question to him would be, if you're seeing different light from the stars and you're talking about a prism, because like a rainbow, when you shine light through a prism, it's going to show different colors. The colors are dispersed through a prism, so we see that. Where's the prism in between you and the star? So that would still remain, right? Because that's what we're talking about.
So if you're asking how a rainbow occurs if there's no prism, the prism in this case is water droplets in the atmosphere diffuses the light.
Okay, so we're asking him the question and so you came up with water droplets. So then that means that if that is the case, let's just say that we're going to go along with what you're saying, right? If water droplets are the case why we're seeing different colors, right? Per se from the star, then why is the whole sky not a rainbow?
No, water droplets are what creates rainbows. I don't know anything about the stars.
Right. So that's what his analogy was to talk about the star that we're seeing with the different colors. Okay? Please follow along.
The prism was explicitly mentioned when he was asked how you could create an experiment to prove it, but okay.
About the star light. About the star light color. The color we're seeing from the star. Cameron. Are you following along? You want us to go back to like 5 minutes when he started this argument? It's up to you.
Yeah, let me just chime in for a second. I dipped away for a second there, and we've come back to talking about prisms, which has absolutely nothing to do with what I was talking about. So the initial thing was for him to give us a demonstration on how what he's saying we can go and do. So what has that got to do with stars?
Zero.
Yeah, Cameron chimed in. I will unmute Busta, Bambi, so you can talk to him.
Thank you.
It's like cool analogy, but where are you going to cash that in at if it has nothing to do with what we're asking?
Yeah, because I initially asked that and I went away to answer the door and I've come back and it was as if the conversation just dipped. Like we were just moved straight on to something else. So Busta, what can I go do?
Yeah, he was just ranting about how the starlight is.
Did the magical flirt fairies finally unmute me? Did they?
I don't know. I wasn't here, but you're unmuted now. So what have I got? What have I got to go do?
Thank you, slave master, for allowing the fucking poor peasant slaves to fucking chat again.
Okay, so what have I got to go do?
You've got to get a prism. No, not crickets, fuckwit. No,
okay, just ignore it. Just keep talking. Just ignore it. You're an adult. Just ignore and just keep talking. What have I got to go do? It's fine. Just everyone shut the fuck up, please, and just let them talk. Because the only way they're going to talk is down into a hole. So please continue. What have I got to go do?
Nice assumption. So all you got to do is get the fucking light from the stars, put it through a prism, and then work out the light and the colors, and then you can work out spectrum and what the
Sorry, I misunderstood the first part. I need to get the light of a star and put it through a prism. Can you actually explain what I need to do? Okay. What do I need and how do I do it?
All right, okay. Let me try and be real basic here.
Yeah, please.
The sun is a star. Okay? Sun fucking roasts you in the summer, in the fucking heat of the day, gives you skin cancer and burns your fucking skin so it peels. That's a fucking gas.
Yeah, that's the claim. Thank you for repeating the claim. But she's asking
plasma
to do.
Right? So there's a star that you can fucking see in the sky, so big that it makes everything fucking grow and it burns things and melts plastic, right? So all you got to do is get a prism, walk out into the direct sunlight, take a prism.
Sorry, I'm a bit confused though because I was initially asking you about the stars, like the little twinkly lights. Like that was initially what we were talking about.
Yeah, and guess what that was?
So we'll talk about the sun because obviously we can go and do that with the sun. What about the twinkly lights? You were saying that they were gas and they measure them, and you were talking about that. How do I demonstrate that? Those little twinkly lights.
Lights are fucking suns.
Okay, but how do I go and demonstrate that they are that?
Man.
So I'm just looking at a little twinkly
telescope.
Pardon?
Telescopes don't whisper in your ear the things you're saying here.
You're making a fucking straw man argument about telescopes.
No. I genuinely just want to know
the information you're trying to spout off here.
How do you magnify the light from a distant star? Obviously, need to.
It has nothing to do with what Bam's asking you.
You actually obviously have to magnify it.
No. Let's just take it back just a few steps. I want to know about those because we initially started talking. The sun was only brought into it because that's just something that you just brought up. I want to know about those little twinkly lights because that's what I initially asked you about. We can talk about the sun after, but I initially asked you about the little twinkly lights when you started rambling on, and then when you were asked to demonstrate those twinkly lights, you said, "Well, the sun." No one's denying anything you're saying about the sun. I want to know about the twinkly lights that you're claiming are gas balls and plasma out in a vacuum. And how do we demonstrate that those little twinkly lights are gas and plasma? What can I do?
Oh, your smart-ass tone is just awful.
I'm Scottish. It comes with a territory, sweetheart. I'm just asking you a question.
Isn't much better.
Attitude.
No, you don't need to kind of gish gallop around it. Please just answer what I'm asking. If you don't know, please just say I don't know because I will. If you ever say something to me, I'll just say, look, I don't know, I'm sorry. And then someone else can answer it. Do you know or not?
I've already told you, right? The reason why I'm using the sun as an example.
That's not what she's asking.
The question,
but no one's.
The answer is no.
No one's denying anything. No one's denied anything you said about the sun. I want to know about the twinkly lights. I want to know about those stars.
Focus, buddy.
Twinkly lights. You're such a condescending little fucking
thing,
you can
mock me. You can mock me if you like, but it's not. It's just proving the point that you don't know what you're talking about. So please don't just say that. Just say, I'm sorry, but I don't know, and maybe I'll go look into it again, which you were going to do earlier.
I'll mute him.
The sun is a star, right?
Oh, so you want the little pet to talk again now?
No, Busta. We're looking for a demonstration. You can stop talking at this point.
Let me talk for a second. You see why you're getting muted? I'm asking you something directly about something, and you're going, her tone, her voice, her meh, meh. I'm asking you something. Just answer it. And you can say, I don't know. Those words are so simple to say. I don't know.
Told you, but you won't accept it.
But you're talking about the sun. I want to see everything
because
else.
It's a fucking star.
I'm not disagreeing. Do you think that I'm denying everything you're saying about the sun? I am not. I agree. Well done. Moving on. Those other things that are out there, how do I demonstrate what they are? They are completely separate things. The sun I can see, and yes, we agree it is fucking warm, and yeah, we have it in Scotland. Not as warm as you guys, but we're sitting at about 33 just now, 33 degrees Celsius, so it's fucking warm. I know that. Yeah, I want to know about everything else out there. I don't know what your light pollution's like in Australia, but in the Highlands of Scotland, there are fucking millions of little tiny things that I can see, and I'm asking you, what do I need to do to prove what those are? What is the demonstration that I need to do to prove that they're gas and plasma?
I can see more of the Milky Way from where I am than I guarantee you can see in Scotland, mate.
I don't know. I've never been to Australia, but what do I need to do to demonstrate it?
There's no light pollution where I am, mate. I can look up and I can see them.
Like, so what do we need to do to you are the first person to demonstrate it? What do we need to do to demonstrate it?
No, you're not. Just answer the question, dude. Stop waffling.
And you can say I don't know. Like,
multiple times. The same question's been asked to you like 15 times. Just answer it.
Just leave him for a second, because keep going at him is going to do nothing. But please, just answer. What do I need to do? And if you don't know, say I don't know, and that's it. We'll move on.
Little dancing monkey doesn't like being muted all the time.
All right, well, kick rocks, dude.
Okay, well, you're unmuted, so what do I need to do?
I'll send some evidence, dude. That's all anyone's asking.
I'll go into your profile and I'll be the one that's in charge of your mute. So you're unmuted, and I'll look at it, and if it does get muted again, I'll just unmute it. So what do I need to do to prove what those tiny little stars are?
Prove to me that the Earth is flat.
But you can't answer a question with a question. I'm asking you one. And if you don't know, just say that and we can move on, and then you can ask us something. But right now you're fumbling in the fact that you can't say the words I don't know.
You want to know another way to do it because you don't accept.
I want to know how to do it for those ones, for all of those little twinkly things that we can see that you're claiming are gas and plasma that are away out there in a vacuum. I want to know what I need to do for them.
Already told you, but you don't accept the prism thing.
The big massive sun that's right here, and I am not denying anything you're saying about that. Right. I completely agree. Yes. Now, what about those twinkly little lights? You're making a claim that they are the exact same thing that is the sun. How? What? How do I do that? How do I prove that that's what that is?
They are stars, like the sun's a star, but I'm not saying that they're exactly the same as our sun.
So they're not gas and plasma?
They're not going to be the same size, for example.
So they're not gas and plasma.
They're also made up of... Look, you've got, once again, each star is different depending on the composition.
Any of them. Pick any of them. There's fucking millions of them. Which one would you like to talk about? I'm sure one of them's similar. So we can't measure anything about any of them. We can't demonstrate anything about any of them. It's only the sun, which we're not denying.
It's not true at all. Like I said, if you want to
what
measure...
do I need to do to measure them?
If you want to measure the light from a distant star, then you need to be able to magnify that light. You guys don't believe that they're distant, right? And so therefore, because you don't believe that they're distant, then what's the point of me even...
How is that demonstrating what you're claiming they are?
Because if you want to measure the light from a distant star, you need to magnify that light. And how the fuck do you do that? You use a telescope. Okay? So
cool,
therefore,
bro, but what is the demonstration
you get a fucking telescope and you magnify the light from the telescope and you put it through a fucking prism. And then you can work out what the composition of that fucking light is, and therefore you can work out what the fucking gas is of that star. Is that satisfactory? No, probably not, because you don't believe stars exist, and then you don't believe that they're distant.
What Buster is describing is called a spectrograph or a spectroscope, but it is a thing.
Yeah, let's not chime in. Hang on a second. Let's not chime in.
This fucking chat with any brains.
All right, I'm gonna have to mute you real quick, Cameron. That's not his claim. He didn't say that. You did. So you can't divine his thoughts and then therefore say what he was thinking. You're not divining anyone's thoughts. So let him speak for himself. I'm going to mute you and also Buster. He didn't know that till you just said that. You just gave him new information because he wasn't saying that. All right. I'm unmuting both of you.
And in their own globe claim, what he's claiming is an evidence towards what he's claiming. It's not an overall proof of anything.
Please don't jump in on his behalf. Just one at a time.
Sorry?
No one asked you.
You're not moderating this chat. We are. So sit down, little one.
I just thought it was the same rules for everyone. So.
No, we're moderators in this chat, and then there's those
I've been in this discussion for about 4 hours.
There's those that come in as a guest. You're a guest here. You're not a moderator. Thank you.
Cameron Paladin, can you hear me?
Yeah. Being a guest doesn't mean that you can put your dirty boots on the table and start pissing on everybody. Okay, doesn't mean that. Okay.
Cameron, can you hear me, mate?
Yep.
So here's the thing, bro. We know the claims. All you're able to do is just tell us the claims over and over again. You see, the sun is a star, and the stars are other suns. Amazing, bro. This is not bedtime story time. We're at the point where we're asking you for a demonstration. Show what you're saying to be true. You're just restating claims over and over again. Call this claim stacking or claim repeating. So it's not getting you anywhere by just restating the claims.
Can I ask a question, or is
it's baseless assertions, doesn't it? Isn't it?
May I ask a question?
The sun is a star. Wow.
You just did ask a question. You just did. Do you have another question?
I'm not sure when it's my turn to speak. I don't want to get muted.
You're speaking now, so just proceed.
Just in regards to the evidence Buster needs to provide, what is the standard you're asked of?
He hasn't provided any evidence. He's provided
evidence. Where?
Well, he hasn't provided. I agree. 100% agree. So what's the baseline? What's the minimum you'll accept? Just so he knows what to provide. What's the framework?
He's saying the baseline is he's standing on the floor. He's looking up at the luminaries, and he's saying, the luminaries are these things that I claim they are. These assertions that I have. And I'm going to write it out on a piece of paper, or he read it from someone else. Someone else made the assertions. He's just parroting those assertions without any evidence. He's just saying stuff.
Right. We've heard those things too. It's not that we haven't heard what he's saying. It's at this point we're looking to prove or falsify what he's saying. And he could prove it perhaps with a demonstration. Demonstration.
Yeah, demonstrate what you're saying. Are you looking for like a theoretical demonstration, or
dude?
CB, there is a separation, because what he was talking about, the colors of the gases, that stuff can be demonstrated. Nobody's denying that. But then he's extending that into saying, hey, we can demonstrate the color of the gases by adding electricity or light or whatever, and therefore, when we look up and we see colors in the sky and lights in the sky, therefore globe and black holes and exoplanets and trillions of miles and heliocentric universe, which doesn't follow. It doesn't follow.
The kids call that reaching, guys. So stop reaching and show what you're saying to be true. Or we can debunk it. That's fine.
The magic fucking flirt fairies have unmuted me again.
No demonstrations then? Or can we move on? Cam?
Yes. We want a demonstration. We would like a demonstration of drop over distance. You know, the globe, the geometrical claim. Do you have any of that? Like demonstrating a measurement of the drop over distance, 8 inches per mile square? Do you have a demonstration of that? A measurement, direct measurement.
Hello.
Of that geometry.
Where you Spanish or something, mate? Where you from, bro?
Oh my god, dude!
From America.
Fuck up,
Buster,
dude.
you can kick rocks too. You can
From
kick rocks.
America. You know, America is a big place.
Tags! What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.